Tonight on the Black Channel, I know you've been waiting to hear the definitive analysis about the Florida Walmart fool around and find out self-defense shooting here. I understand that, and I was one of the very first people to break this story for everyone. And as usual, I don't just jump up and start commenting about things. I let things go for a little bit because there's a tremendous amount to unpack, and I'm just warning you all in advance. Tonight's program is jam-packed. It is absolutely bursting at the seams because this has been one of the most prolific things I've ever covered here, especially since I was instrumental in setting this in motion. So strap in tight. I'm just letting you know tonight is going to be a full one before we even get started. I was going to call this the 720 degrees of white supremacy / hypocrisy was what I was originally going to call it here, because this sums up and epitomizes everything that we have been warning you about, telling you about, informing you about, why we created the new black media. Basically, this shows everything down the line and encapsulates white supremacy in one neat, concise, tight, little, convenient package. For those of you who are unaware, there was an incident down in Florida. This black woman, there's an incident over a parking space. Apparently the white gentleman, and we're going to get into that in a few moments, but apparently he wanted to strong arm about a parking space. Reports are from folk that he was ranting and raving, and she was so concerned because she came there to go to Walmart that she had to go back to her car and retrieve her weapon because this guy was an imminent threat, which was proven by the video. Now, I knew that things were going to go a certain direction when I first saw it. I realized the local news outlets had glommed onto this, and I didn't like the way in which they were characterizing it. I didn't like it from the very, very beginning, which is why I jumped onto it immediately. And my timeline is full of things like this because I wanted to document all of this. And by the way, some of the folks who posted stuff started running from it. Too bad for them that the new black media was ready for that as well. They were characterizing this as he got shot over a parking spot. That's the thing. They characterized it as he got shot over a parking spot. That's what they were saying. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, here comes the damn fix. Here comes the propaganda. He didn't get shot because that makes people think that she got out and was arguing with him over a parking spot. So it basically puts the onus on her and makes her the focus. She shot him over a parking spot. That he got shot over a parking spot does not say that he's chasing her around the cars. He's pursuing her throughout the parking lot. And they did the white supremacist media outlets like New York Post, ABC News, Good Morning America, down the line. All the white supremacists came unglued. And they, as usual, they tried to make the white supremacist suspect, the white supremacist sympathetic suspect. They tried to make him as sympathetic as possible. Oh, he was 62 years old. He was an Army veteran. The words they never use when a black person is killed. All of a sudden, were you in the military? How old were you? Elderly black women getting shot and killed by police all the damn time. The media never tells you that they're elderly, never brings up their age. We're the ones who have to bring that up. So they immediately got on code. They immediately got on code. And when I saw that the headline said that it was over I kept seeing headlines about it was over a parking spot. I said, there they go. They're getting on code. So I'm like, I got to cover this from the very beginning. And that was exactly what I did. So you are going to get the most comprehensive analysis you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. And we're going to give you the 720 degrees because it went all over the place. And I did my part as much as I could in the wee hours of the morning to document everything that I possibly could here. All right. So first of all, it's the racist Twitter space. They were first in line. They were the first in line. One of these racist ones was one of the first ones talking about say his name. So basically, this is like a parody. They did not care that he was the aggressor. They did not care that he got shot because he was walking up on this woman after chasing her around several cars. So this was them making things up. One of the things I noticed immediately is that all these Twitter accounts, all these news outlets, they only played the last 5 seconds of the encounter. The part right where he gets shot, which you can clearly see him walking up on her. They only play the last 5 seconds and then say it's over a parking space. Now, even in this picture right here, this is right before he gets shot. You see him standing in front of her car. That's her Chevy Malibu. You see him standing in front of her car. And how she's supposed to leave, and he's standing in front of her car. So they're all lying from the very beginning. And the lies were just absolutely disgusting, but I'm glad that they did it so openly, so blatantly, so egregiously, so that we could document that. So all these people were only playing the last 5 seconds of it. They completely clipped out the whole couple of 2 minutes before where he's chasing her around cars and following her around cars. They cut that out and only showed the last 5 seconds. These white supremacists are despicable, disgusting, subhuman, propagandist liars. Unfortunately for them, folks started looking at the whole video and then everything started falling apart for them, but it hasn't prevented them because this is what they do. They just tell a lie, tell it big, tell it strong, keep saying it over and over again. Hopefully they can flood the zone. And that's not because they're trying to convince anybody. This is simply to have as I covered on last night's 4th of July program, this is just a rallying call to rally the white supremacist troops. Of course they saw him chasing her. Of course they saw him walking up on her. Even on the 5-second videos that they posted, the last 5 seconds is him walking up on her as she's telling him to stop where you are. They saw that and still said he was no threat. What? Folks, they literally are showing the video with him walking up on her and they're still saying he was no threat for walking up on her. Now, of course, you as a black person, Jordan Neely, if you are yelling at people on a subway, why, you're a threat who can be snuck up from behind. We can sneak up behind you, touching nobody. We can sneak up behind you, strangle you to death, and that's okay to do to you. This guy walking up on her, telling him to stop where you are, and the white supremacist said, you have no right to defend yourself and stop someone from assaulting you. Well, stop a white person from assaulting you. And notice I keep saying a white person. Now you can see his name is Bart DeGuglielmo. Bart DeGuglielmo, and yet I want you all to know that nobody was calling him Latino. What? So let's start right there. We'll come back to the video part in just a moment. But let's just start about there trying to sympathize him. Notice that the white supremacists do not refer to him as a Latino. Now, the reason why I made post after post and retweet after retweet because I wanted to prove that, because after all these decades of doing what I do, you know what the white supremacist liars are going to say. So I have to be the prosecution, if you will, and I have to present my evidence like a federal prosecutor, that I bring all the evidence that you can't lie and say that it didn't happen. So let's go ahead. And well, Jason, where's your evidence about that? Because you're saying that it's a racial thing. It's a racial issue. I'm not the one who made it into a racial issue. I'm not the one doing that. Oh, we'll come back to you here in just a few moments here, Bronca. I'm not the one who was doing that. Why, there were other folk who were doing that. Case in point, okay. White supremacist Twitter folk out there, they're the ones They were the ones doing that, not me. They were the ones doing that. Well, hey, y'all. Well, who is this? Anthony Cumia. Well, I'll be damned. Well, the mainstream white media gave him a job even though he was a complete hack, completely talentless. Why, he's the one among all these others referring to him as white. Wait, look for the black community to support the armed black murderer and villainize the unarmed white victim. What? Anthony Cumia with 310,000 followers. Oh, man. Oh, I did not bring receipts. I brought invoices. So you see, I'm not the one saying that. Post after post after post that jumped up about this, they were the ones saying that he's white. Look at the black person killing the white person. And by the way, you can go and click on these videos if you want to. The folks in the comments section, they were the ones saying that he's white. Now, what have we told you now for 2 decades for all the boneheaded idiots out there who tried to argue with us and say Latinos are black, they're not really white, white folk don't see them as white, they're not white, they're Latino, and in a single evening, boom, they're white. In one evening, bam, now they're white again. They're coming out and attacking us on behalf of him and saying, oh, well, these are white people that have gotten killed. Now, remember, we had to give you the 720 degrees of analysis and story that Latinos were white people until the 1970 census. Then they got kicked out of whiteness. I've always told you from behind this microphone that Florida is ground zero. If you haven't been to Florida, you do not understand that Latinos are considered white. In Florida, they call themselves white. When they go to prison, hello, Wes Watson. If you go to prison in Florida, the Latinos are marked as white. I've done program after program. The Latinos call themselves white, classify themselves as white, consider themselves white, look you in the face and tell you that we are white. So when dummies were trying to talk about in 2016 that Donald Trump was not going to win Florida because Florida's got so many, quote, Latinos. And remember, I said, you're idiots who don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then you saw how the election went the way it went. Jason, how did you know? And all the rest of these clowns got it wrong because the internet's usually stupid and wrong. So it matters where you get your information. Well, this was Florida. And what do you know? Everyone's calling them white. Just like we said. And what have I always taught you all? That they were kicked out of whiteness when it was convenient. And when it becomes convenient again, and we're coming around to it, Latinos will get drafted back into whiteness again. When the white supremacists consider it to be to their convenience, they will draft Latinos back into whiteness. They historically kicked the Southern Europeans out of whiteness. The Western Europeans, they kicked them out of whiteness historically. So the Italians, the so-called Romans, the Greeks, the Irish, the Scottish, and all these folk were kicked out of whiteness until about the 1940s. Remember Jack Nicholson and the movie The Departed? I played that for you all multiple times here. I won't play it tonight, but go take a look at the beginning of the movie The Departed with Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio. Martin Scorsese's The Departed. What's that soliloquy that Jack Nicholson gives at the beginning of the film? 20 years after an Irishman couldn't get a effing job, we had the presidency. May he rest in peace. Oh, okay. About the Irish and the Italians, complete with their street gangs, criminality, sexual promiscuity, drug use, so on and so forth. So these were all non-whites. And so, including the Spaniards, well, you're less than white. Well, they were actually white and then less than white and then debated. You get to the New World, you're less than white. So a whole bunch of groups who became less than white. The Iranians literally translates to land of the Aryans, but yeah, they got kicked out of whiteness when it's convenient. Tucker Carlson has openly acknowledged the Afghans as white people. He says he doesn't want them in America, but he has openly acknowledged that the Afghans are white people. Well, right now it's not convenient to draft them into whiteness. So that's why they don't want them here. But yeah, when it's convenient, we'll go ahead and make them white. If it becomes inconvenient, they're going to lose their white card. Latinos lost their white card because right now it's not convenient. However, as soon as it becomes convenient again, then they're going to go back and draft them into whiteness, which is exactly what they're going to do. We're going to draft you into whiteness when we can use it, when it's convenient. We'll go ahead and do that. And just remember, it'll be on a case-by-case basis. If it becomes inconvenient again, out you go. Out you go. So, fortunately, I did not bring my receipts. I brought invoices. I didn't tell you what you paid. I tell you what you owe. So, when they started it from the very beginning, I saw how it was shaping up, and that's when I started documenting everything because I wanted to make sure everybody's going to be on the record. So, this guy is a white Latino, and for folks who are like, it doesn't make a difference, why are y'all making a distinction between white Latino and whatnot? Pierce Morgan and other folk have finally conceded that we were right all along. Okay. So, this white fella here, who happens to be of Latino descent, but now they've agreed he's white too. So, that's why they rallied around it, because they saw a racial angle that they could use. They saw a racial angle. And that's what happened. Now, I immediately jumped on it and said the headlines are not emphasizing that she's a woman. They're talking about he's 62 years old and a veteran. They're not talking about the fact that the headline doesn't say that man chases woman, gets shot after chasing woman over a parking spot. They say he gets shot over a parking spot. Now, I solidified from the beginning, he has no right to chase her and she has no duty to run away. So I just wanted you all to know that from the very beginning, they started doing that. From the very beginning. Very start. The white supremacists were very, very angry about this, and I wanted to go ahead and get into something else here. I'm going to try to minimize the number of tabs that I use here, because if I literally have 20 tabs from Twitter up right now. So I'm going to try to minimize the number that I use because I don't want browsers to start crashing and things. I don't want browsers to start crashing because that could be an issue here. But first thing I wanted to do here, I wanted to show you about who was saying these things. First of all, I retweeted this post here from this Carlos, whoever this person is. As you can see, translated from Spanish, 62-year-old man died after an argument over a parking spot. It wasn't over a parking spot. That's what I'm showing you all right here, is that this guy is talking about this is over a parking space. Look at the video right here. Now you can see she is backing up and he's walking up on her. Now that's This is the video that everybody kept showing is just this beginning. And even here, you see he's walking up on her. Then he gets neutralized. Okay, but what they don't do is show you everything before that, which is this. Now, she's outside the car. She already has her weapon, and here he comes running up on her. The minivan had the good sense to leave. This is her right there, and here comes the assailant. Now, all these folk are seeing this and then talking about, we don't know if this is self-defense. How is she being threatened? She's not being threatened. There are going to be folk who are literally going to be saying, all he did was walk up on her, yelling at her. She shot him because he yelled at her. Then you say he walked up on her. He didn't get that close to her. How close is she supposed to let him get? So all the things that they said, if you're Mike Brown, you can be shot from 50 feet away. If you're Mike Brown, you can be shot 50 feet away. You're a threat from 50 feet away. You're too close. He was coming at Darren Wilson. This guy is about 5 or 6 feet away, and they're saying he's no threat at 5 or 6 feet away, running up on a woman. She's a woman, and they're saying that he's still no threat. Now, do you think it's because they don't see the same video that you see, or they are just saying it doesn't matter what you do, we are going to say that you are in the wrong no matter what? We're going to just fabricate some crap. If you're black, you're wrong no matter what you do. We're going to say you're in the wrong no matter what. Whoever is trying to attack you, we're going to defend them. And it doesn't matter if it completely contradicts everything we previously said. We're white and we say so. So as you clearly see, here he comes running up on her. And they're claiming that they don't know what's happening. Now, here he is. Why is he not leaving her alone? He's done chased her around a car. Here he is. Now, this Honda back here, I want you all to understand something. This is the lying white supremacists I was telling you about. Notice how they keep cutting the video. They don't let the video keep playing. They just keep cutting instead of showing him progressively chasing after her. Look, she's standing in front of this gray Honda back here. And when you let it keep going, she's left from it to the car next to it. She's 2 cars away from her own car now. She is 2 cars away from her own car. Now he's behind the Honda where she was. Yeah, this is where she was. And now this is where he is. So everywhere she is, he's following her and pursuing her. But they keep cutting it so that you don't see him walking. When you see this, okay, he's chasing her around this SUV now. Here she is coming around the back of this SUV. Do you see how they keep cutting it so that they don't make it plain? Hey, he's following her from her car to this Honda in front of this SUV, around this SUV. He is stalking her. Now she's got the gun drawn on him. She is backing away the entire time. She backed away from her own car, backed away around this Honda, backed away around this SUV. He's following her the whole time. They keep cutting it. She is back retreating, and she has no duty to retreat in Florida. That's what stand your ground is. She doesn't have a duty to retreat, and yet she's doing it. Now, there were other folk, they freeze the frame here. They freeze the frame right here. See, he's not a threat. They're showing a still image. He walks over here. Now, this is her car. Now, the person holding the phone, they didn't hold it horizontal. They should have. He's going to walk around in front of her car and walk around to the back of it so that he can try to come between that pickup truck and the back of her car. If you keep watching, she's got the gun over the top of her car because he's walking around the back of her car to try to come around the back of her car at her. She backed up. He couldn't make that one work, so he comes back around the front, and now he's walking up on her. Again. And yet these accounts kept clipping this and cutting this because they didn't want you to have a clear insight of it. Now, the full video is out there, but I wanted you all to understand what you're looking at there. I want you to understand that they kept cutting it for that reason. And this guy says he's speaking Spanish, but even then, he's in lockstep with white supremacy. He gets lockstep with white supremacy, even speaking Spanish. So what it lets you know is there's just English white supremacy, Anglo white supremacy, Asian white supremacy. It's, you change it and that's what it does. That's what it does. Now, you take a look at this. You take a look at this and listen to what this man here has to say. Now, this is Aaron Stewart. U.S. Coast Guard retired. Very glad to hear that. All right. Now I want you all to listen to this now. Now you saw what this guy said up here, 62. I'm going into detail because I want you all to have this so that I make my case. Justified or not, a 62-year-old man died after an argument over a parking space in a Walmart in North Lauderdale in Broward. According to the report, it all happened in broad daylight shortly before 12:30 p.m. Police received a call, arrived at the parking lot, found the man shot. They rushed him to the hospital. He did not survive. The woman who fired did not flee. She stayed at the scene and told the detectives that it had been in self-defense. Okay. What does Mr. Stewart here say? Objective breakdown. Bart DeGuglielmo got himself killed. We currently only have video of her getting out of the car. We don't know what transpired before the event. Yes, we do. We have the whole video. The woman stayed next to her car while DeGuglielmo walked across the parking lot to confront her. As the video at the beginning I showed you all clearly shows, he comes stalking at her across the parking lot. Here he comes from across the damn parking lot. She has the right to be there and the right to defend herself while being there. He continued to follow her even though she was armed. Why would you threaten someone over a spot they were already in? Why would you continue to threaten an unarmed person? Why would you threaten a woman? He was the aggressor. He needed to de-escalate and walk away. Florida was the first state to enact a broad stand your ground law in 2005. That, remember folks, that really comes with an asterisk. It applies in public places as well as home. So here he's showing all the statutes here. How does Carlos here respond? You just admitted we don't know what happened before the video, but you already gave a verdict. Bart DeGuglielmo got himself killed. That sounds more like race-based judgment to me. Did this Mr. Stewart say a word about race, people? Show me where, I went to that long explanation to show you, show me where Mr. Stewart said anything about race. Show me where he pointed out the race of the participants. When did he do that? So if you were wondering if this guy got a little Spanish-speaking white supremacist or not, if you wonder, as soon as he's debunked, he's the one who can't stop but to let you know this is about race to him. If you don't say that she's guilty, this is about race to him. So he jumps in that very quickly. Seems like you really want to make this about race. You're the one ignoring the key issue. Well, where's race come into it? He never explains why it's racial. But of course, we already know why he says it's racial. So remember, it's about practicing white supremacy while seemingly trying to give the impression that you aren't. And when that didn't work, when he got debunked by the argument, then he has to let the real thing come out. This is about white supremacy. So nobody mentioned race. He tries to lie and pretend that he's not a racist. As soon as he gets debunked, this is about race. Okay. Oh, we covered all our bases. We covered all of our bases here, folks. We covered all of that. They're not happy about it. The New York Post, now this is when I saw that the mainstream white supremacist media outlets, the racist white outlets, they got a hold of it because the optics of a black person in their eyes being able to neutralize a white person with impunity, that cannot stand. You cannot have the optics of the idea that a white person could lose their life for threatening a black person and the black person just gets up and walks away. That is a privilege reserved only for the white supremacist. The white supremacist is the only one with the power of life and death. The white supremacist is the only one who can disregard your right to live. The white supremacist is the only one who can do that. You can't even defend your own life. A white person can ambush you, shoot you in the back, shoot your children from 5 feet away, 500 feet away. You're a threat. You can die, and that is white privilege. You, however, are never allowed to create a situation. Even if a white person is attacking you, we are not going to allow a white person to lose their lives, and you just get to walk away. The optics of, quote, allowing that to happen, that cannot be tolerated because that puts ideas in other people's heads that they don't have to suffer being attacked. You see, the Carmelo Anthony verdict was supposed to scare all of us. That was supposed to tell all of us that if you defend yourself against a white person, the system is going to come down on you. So all of you better just hold still and let white people do to you as they please and let white supremacy reign. Then when you show that immediately after that, yeah, ain't nobody following that memo, they're like, damn it! Now they're coming unglued because, yeah, nobody's following that memo. You thought you were going to frighten everyone, and it didn't happen. They immediately disregarded it. So the optics of this white man not being able to Donald Trump a black female any way he wants to. The idea that this white male can't just walk up to a black person and Donald Trump them any way he wants to do it, why, that's a problem. You can't do that. We're not, and it was all caught on video. Why, this is going to send the message to white supremacist males everywhere that they better watch their step, and that white supremacy is no longer in charge, and that the system, everyone is screaming to the police because they're saying, hey, you're supposed to activate the system now. The system is supposed to step in and execute white supremacy now. The system was supposed to back him if he attacked her. The attack failed. Now they expect the system to step in and take his side. Since his attack failed, the system is now supposed to step in and resume the assault. That's what they're calling for now. Hey, where's that system of white supremacy? Because remember, they're setting themselves up for back-to-back L's. You see, if white supremacists try to harm black folk and they continually get punished, and the system does not come to their defense, that the system defends black people against white supremacist aggression, then the system of white supremacy is a chain. And if you break one of those links in the chain, you've broken the whole system. If they cannot depend on every link in the chain to uphold them and support them, then the system has officially broken down and there is no system they can depend on anymore. And white supremacy, you're on your own. You can try it, but you're going to be left to your own devices, however it comes after it, because you do not have a system to support you anymore. And they're terrified that this is a clear example of what will happen if there's no longer a system to enforce the white supremacist behavior. That's why they're sounding the alarms and treating this like an emergency. In the chat room, you ask a very good question. How is this video available to the public this quickly? Because the person who took the video had uploaded it. You see, it wasn't like the Carmelo Anthony incident where nobody who had a video did not release it. Everybody got on code in Frisco, Texas. Unfortunately, some of the black folk, everybody got on code. So you see, the civilians who had video, they didn't release it. They gave it to the police and then they sat on it. So nobody released the video that they had. And the school had video and we're not giving that out either. So everybody put the video in the hands of the system and the system said, yeah, we're not showing you all what happened. When you have full transparency, this is what occurs, which is why they don't want there to be any transparency. No body cameras, no videos, no citizen video, nothing. You just take our word. Now, if this video had not been released, she probably would have been arrested. They probably would have arrested her and would have claimed that, yeah, she was guilty. With the video, with it being so clear what happened, they're like, damn, we couldn't hide the video first. The video is already publicly available. Damn it. Now we would have to explain where the violation of the law is. And the problem that they have is that she followed police procedure. She exited the video. She gave him verbal commands. That really steams him. What? She gave him verbal commands to stop where he was. She then began to go backwards to give him room and time. You cannot argue that she ran up on him. He ran up on her. You cannot argue that she shot him on sight. She did not. You cannot argue that she didn't give him every opportunity to stop. She backed away around 3 cars and he continued to pursue her all the way through them. You cannot say that she did not verbally command him to stop. She commanded him to stop multiple times. He continued to advance on her. Finally, she neutralized the threat. She did everything that they trained police to do. If they attempt to prosecute her, they would basically be indicting every single police officer in the state of Florida and beyond. Which is why they don't want to touch this, because now that it's clear on video, you can't lie and say that she didn't do it. She did everything. Right down to the T. Everything that police officers are trained to do. She did that. You know, the stuff that they keep saying that black folk can get shot for and police don't even do. When black folk get shot, the police leave things out. They should just shoot black folk willy-nilly and the white supremacists say, up, clean shoot. She followed textbook police procedure and the white supremacists are still angry. Oh, so it's not about the law. Did you command them to stop? They're still advancing. Now they're saying that the law don't matter. So what law are they referring to? The law of white supremacy. So she followed police procedure and the video clearly shows that. And since the video was immediately publicly available, they didn't have the opportunity to hide it, suppress it, and be able to tell you, take our word for it, the video's not good for her. Everyone sees it for what it is. So if you're going to try to do this, you're going to have to indict the police along the line and explain how it is that the police are justified, but she's not. because she followed police procedure. So yes, they are furious that the folk who took the video immediately posted it on the internet. Yeah, you can't hide this one this time. And this is why you all want to make sure that you document these things, because the police are going to hide the video immediately. The prosecutors are going to go white supremacist immediately if they can. With Chud the Builder, they couldn't hide it as quickly as they wanted to. Yeah. When they can't hide it, they're like, damn it, now we got to enforce the law. Now we have to actually enforce the law. And the law here is very plain. Yeah. He was in the wrong every step of the way. He was actually alive a lot longer than he would have been if he were black with the police. So yeah, the video getting out so quickly, that was damning, because the police would have done everything they could to stop it. Then you have this white supremacist female here. And I pointed out, you see this guy walk right up on her, and she says 62-year-old Army vet. So the white supremacists, the stuff that they never say, if this had been a white woman and this is a black male running up on her in a parking lot like this, walking up on her all fast and aggressive, do you think that any of these people would be saying she had no business shooting him? Of course not. These are the first folk to say, we can kill you if we sneak up behind you. So, of course, this woman is claiming self-defense and rolls her eyes. Now, of course, I had to go ahead and get in on that to let everybody know. Yeah, this white supremacist female here posts a video that very clearly, I said, the suspected white supremacist who made this post shows the video of this guy clearly running up on this woman, and yet she's mad that the woman stopped him from assaulting her. This is how big of a group of Nazis they've become. Y'all be careful out there. Well, I don't agree with anyone losing their life over a parking spot. Before you label someone, learn something. The best Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas, the best candidate for Governor, Byron Donalds, the best podcast, Officer Tatum. So I suspect this is a white male. This is most likely a white male who has this account. And they're trying their best to do this. So don't believe this. This is most likely a white male who has this and pretending that, they're doing their garbage here. So all of this was just a terrible look. It was a terrible look and awful. And I just said, even in your own video, clearly shows him advancing toward her and she's walking backwards. And yet you're claiming that she has no right to stop him. Racist much. So like I say, I want just to show you all that even in this situation here, you see this, their own video shows him walking up on them and they're claiming that that's not self-defense. So, but they don't defend your right as a black male to run up on a white woman like this. The issue is if you're a black male, you can get shot no matter what if you even look threatening from 50 feet or 100 feet away. So I wanted the white supremacists to be blatant. I wanted them to be egregious. I wanted them to be totally out of line. I wanted them to just make it unmistakable just how bad and evil they are, to see them sit up here and just argue against the most obvious thing sitting in front of you. Because folks, if this were your mother in a parking lot and a guy runs up on your mama like this, would you be telling your mom, hey mom, calm down, he's not a threat, he's just running up on you and yelling at you and following you around cars, mom, he's not a threat, mom, you just need to calm down, mom, he's all right, you're the one who's overreacting, mom? How many of you would sit up here and say that to your mother, your sister, your daughter? So this is how you know this is a white supremacist male. But yeah, like I say, this is how pathetic they are. I like it that they try to argue against something this blatant because it makes you look just like this shameless clown you are. It really does. You make the job so easy for us when you show that you all are this extreme and then you become this blatant. It's like, I need you to commit these crimes of propaganda and these crimes of lying so that I can have this long laundry list of evidence that I can show people. It's not good enough for me to just say that you would do this. You're giving me all the proof that I need. Now I can just publicly document it. Now I can publicly document it. I then made a post. The racist cavemen are now saying that she should have run. Now, notice they never say a white person should run. Not George Zimmerman, not Daniel Penny, not Chud the Builder or anyone else. But when you're black and a white person is assaulting you, all of a sudden they say you have to run. So if the white person has a weapon, they tell you you need to get on the run, nigga. And if you have a weapon, they tell you you need to run. So no matter what happens, your job is to not be a threat to the white assailant. They're trying to brainwash you into accepting that it's your responsibility to never be a threat. Even if they're threatening you or assaulting you, the only thing you can do is try to run. Yeah, Jonathan Majors ran and they still found him guilty. Yeah, Jonathan Majors ran like a track star and they still said he was guilty. You're not dealing with facts. You're not dealing with evidence. You're not dealing with physics. You're dealing with white supremacists. So just remember that. And you're dealing with a nation of them, not individuals, a nation. Now, I did comment about that. I did make a post about that. And there were some folks, they got triggered. They immediately jumped into the comments. Oh, they were upset about that because I threaded all the needles. This person here, Truth Hurts, I'm probably going to ban you. And the reason I will is because I read that they charged her. You didn't read anything like that. You never saw that. So when you all just spread falsehoods like that, that makes me think that you're either white supremacists or you're just too dumb to comment on this. But don't run around saying nonsense like that. Do not give out misinformation or lie like that, because when you do that, that's you basically joining with the white supremacists to sit up here and cloud the issue. No, she ain't been charged with anything. And to try to make it start tilting in the direction of, oh, the authorities say she was illegal. When you start lying like this, because you can't cite a source, you cannot cite any source that said that. The white supremacist liars got so triggered, Zimmerman didn't even have a chance to run. Trayvon pounced on him. Where's your proof of that? He says that like it's a fact. Where's his proof? George Zimmerman is the only one. Zimmerman followed him in his SUV. Why didn't Zimmerman turn his SUV around? Notice he doesn't say that. Zimmerman's following Trayvon Martin in his car. Why didn't Zimmerman turn around? 911 told him to stop where he was. Why didn't Zimmerman turn around? Now Zimmerman gets out, grabs Trayvon, assaults him, and then Trayvon pounced on him after Trayvon got assaulted. Folks, he's not saying this because it's a fact. He's saying this because, hey, I'm the white supremacist. This is the lie. He knows it's a lie. I'm the white supremacist, and this is the lie. Daniel Penny was defending other passengers. What? Well, at least this guy has to admit that Daniel Penny wasn't defending himself. He wasn't defending anybody. He was defending other passengers. He did not use deadly force. Jordan Neely is dead. You used deadly force. Chud the Builder was violently assaulted. So look, the white supremacists are going to tell lies down. Everyone saw the video. Chud is in jail tonight and can't get bond because he was the assailant. Everyone said it. The sheriff said it. The court said it. The video shows it. The white supremacists are going to just lie anyway. And remember, when you point out that they're lying, they then start asking, why are you not, if you're a white person, they say, why are you defending these niggers? Why aren't you just defending white supremacy? So, yeah, not going well. Not going well. They're trying the best they could, but not going well. So they're really, really upset about this. He was nowhere near her when she got her gun. That doesn't matter. Remember George Zimmerman. Trayvon Martin was nowhere near him when he started following Trayvon. You have no right to follow him. She could have easily got in her car and locked the doors. Why didn't he turn around and go back to his car? He was the assailant. He walked across the parking lot. Then, if he terrorized her, she could have shot him or driven over him. As if this man's gonna let her get in her car. And we would have no problem with that if she could do the impossible and walk through walls. You'd have been, y'all, if she had run him over, they would have said, why did you have to run him over? You could have just sat in your car. Y'all, if she had gotten in her car and run him over, then they'd be saying, why did you run him over? You should have just sat in your car. You didn't have to run him over. No, they would be saying that it was okay for him to stand in front of her car and block her in. But then they would have said, why did you run him over? You should have just called the police and sat there and hope he doesn't bust your window out and kill you. But it is your obligation to be harmless and not a threat, even if white people are assaulting you. So you should have just walked through walls like Kitty Pryde of the X-Men. You should have walked through walls and sat in your car and waited till the police showed up. And then we'd be complaining that the police were arresting him. And if you run him over, why didn't you just sit still until authorities showed up? You didn't have to run him over. So please understand, this is not about facts or reality. This is about white supremacy. They are screaming and yelling and upset, and I am all the way here for it all day, every day. Daily Loud, mad as hell. Now I show folk, here's a longer version of the video of the woman in Florida defending herself. Now they're not happy about that. They're not happy about that because when you start showing, when you got more than just the first 5 seconds, things are different when you got more than just the first 5 seconds. And they're like, we don't want that. And that's what I was saying before. Even with them clipping it, it very clearly shows, hey, when you got more than the first 5 seconds, you can't defend this. You can't defend any of this. He's very clearly chasing her, stalking her, following her. You can't defend what you see right now. You know exactly what that is. So and they still talk about woman fatally shoots man during argument over parking space. This ain't about a parking space at this point. She's saying, stop stalking me. They're still talking about a parking space. He's chasing her and they're still talking about, she shot him over a parking space. He got shot because he's stalking this woman and walking up on her in a threatening manner. So they were very upset. And as you can see, there were a bunch of comments under here. Oh, they were furious. They were angry. They were mad as hell. If I was a little small Twitter account, this would be different. If I was a tiny Twitter account, this would be different. This would be a whole different thing if I was a tiny Twitter account. If I had like 50 or 100 followers, that would be different. The problem is I got a lot more than that. I'm not a gigantic Twitter account, but I ain't a pipsqueak either. So when you realize that once it shows up on my page, it's like, oh, wait a minute, this ain't no little old account. I got a following. I got reach. So yeah, the word gonna get out. If I say something, the word's gonna get out. It's going to get out. It's going to go big. So it's not just being said into the ether. It's not just being said to 3 or 4 close friends. This is being said in a big way here. This is being said in a big way. It's being said in a big way. So I want you to understand exactly what you're looking at here. They got upset. They're in the comments section. They're mad as hell. He was nowhere near her. You all can see clearly what it was. Good Morning America came straight to his defense. They're clipping things out of context, just clipping small clips of it. Here comes this guy again. The white supremacists came back to my account because, yeah, I'm not some tiny little account. If I get a hold of it, you're going to be able to see what the hell's happening. This is them talking about he was nowhere near her. He's been chasing her for 2 minutes already. So they were very angry. Low-life ghetto trash that held the gun. Going to prison for years as it should. So they're just angry as hell, by the way. Mad as they can be. Be mad, you're going to get more mad. Be mad, you're going to get more mad. But I want y'all to see they were looking and they saw an account like mine and saw what the hell was happening, and that was the end of that. The other thing is, I warn you all again about these so-called hip-hop accounts and whatnot, the folk who run these things. Just when we look into the backgrounds of the folk who run these things and responsible for them, you start seeing certain things and certain similarities. So just keep that in mind. But they were under that post there. They were mad as hell. All right, folks, we're finished now with the opening act. Now we get to the main show here. Here comes Officer Buck Dancing Brandon Tatum.
Damn!
Oh man, y'all, Buck Dancing Brandon weighed in on it. And guess what he had to say?
Based on what I know and what we can see here, this looks like self-defense to me. Now, there are other contributing factors that could lead this to not being self-defense, meaning that if where he was walking was to his own vehicle and she shot him, that would preclude this from being self-defense. I don't know what conversations they had before this turned violent, which could also be a contributing factor of whether or not this is self-defense. But based on everything I have seen, this man, whatever argument that they got into, he chased her down. He approached her without ceasing while she had a gun in her hand, trying to avoid him.
All right, let me stop right here and clarify something. Jason Black was the first one to say that this guy was chasing her. The white supremacists were apoplectic. Look it up. The white supremacists were absolutely out of their minds with rage when I said that he was chasing her. Well, here comes Officer Buck Dancing Brandon. And he says this guy was chasing her. So the white supremacists are just coming unglued. The white supremacists, I mean, they're just going nuclear. They're losing their minds. When you got Officer Buck Dance saying exactly what I said, using the exact same words I said, substantiating exactly what I said. You can't get away from it. I didn't mischaracterize the events. I was first out of the gate to properly and accurately characterize the events. All they can do right now is follow me.
This is almost textbook self-defense.
Remember what I said, that she followed police procedure. Because Officer Buck Dance would be in the position of trying to convince people that this was in fact not police procedure. Which is why I said it's very, very important that what she did and the way she did it, you can't sit up here and say it was any different than what a police officer would have done. So that's why go find a cop who says we're not trained to that's not the way police procedure goes. That's the way police procedure goes. Black folk get upset when police ignore and avoid police procedure. When they defy and don't follow police procedure. She followed it to a T, and all he could say was, yeah, she did exactly what you're supposed to do. Now, when Officer Buckdance got out here and said that, that's when the air started deflating out of their balloons. They were no less angry, they were no less furious, but now they were seeing, oh hell, oh damn, oh we're going down, we're going down. Oh man, all they could do then was say, damn it, we're going down. There is no support.
You have a right to pull a gun out and threaten serious bodily injury to somebody that you think is going to attack you.
Oh, man. He is going down the list. You have the right to pull a gun on someone that you think is threatening to attack you. You have the right to do that. The air was just, they were deflating, y'all. They were just deflating. It was pathetic to watch. It was sad and pathetic to watch them. They were just going in the meltdown and deflating when he's going step by step that this was proper procedure. Step by step. They were hoping he would at least find some loophole to attack her under, and it didn't happen. What do you do when your idols become your rivals?
This man, whatever argument that would preclude this from being self-defense. I don't know what conversations they had before this turned violent, which could also be a contributing factor of whether or not this is self-defense. But based on everything I have seen, this man, whatever argument that they got into, he chased her down. He approached her without ceasing while she had a gun in her hand, trying to avoid him. This is almost textbook self-defense. You have a right to pull a gun out and threaten serious bodily injury to somebody that you think is going to attack you. And then once you point the gun at them and tell them to stop, and they chase you around a car and they keep chasing you, and your back is against the wall, you have nowhere else to go, there's no duty to retreat, and you shoot the guy one time to stop him from encroaching on you, that to me sounds like self-defense. Let's watch the video.
A witness captured the shooting on a cell phone.
Okay, folks, so you heard what he had to say there. First of all, talking about this almost textbook self-defense. No, this is complete self-defense. Buckdance trying to give himself a loophole so maybe he can argue his way out later. It's not almost self-defense. You go down here, man, they are angry, they're upset. What does retreating mean to you? If she was scared, she'd get in her car. He's gonna assault her and catch her if she tries to get in her car. So of course they're being unreasonable. They're just saying stuff. They're not saying that because she could really get in her car. They're saying that because we need to be able to say something. What was she supposed to do? Walk through her car like she's Kitty Pryde of the X-Men and it's intangible? She was angry, so she stood there hoping he'd walk towards her. Okay, well, whether she hoped for it or not, he did it. Now, remember, here's my point. They just heard their hero, Buckdance and Brandon, explain to them that this was textbook and justified. He went over the law. He went over procedure. He explained exactly what it was. And they came to argue with him. They came to argue. Now look at this guy, MAGA man. He's not happy about this. He's unhappy. Unfortunately, yes, that is true in Florida. Folks, do you see this? Did you ever think that you would find a MAGA person who all of a sudden they don't like the MAGA laws that they passed that were intended to make it simple, clean, and easy and always justified to murder a black person? MAGA man, all of a sudden, y'all, he's unhappy about the law in Florida. Unfortunately, yes, that is very true in Florida. Honestly, dude should have just walked away. It's a stupid situation. But in Florida, We have the right to defend ourselves. What? Do y'all see this? He's saying in the same sentence, shout out brother Neely Fuller, the white supremacists always take both sides of the argument. He's saying it's a stupid situation that in Florida we have the right to defend ourselves. They're so desperate to find some way to criticize and prosecute and convict this woman that now he's arguing he doesn't like the laws of Florida. But we have the right to look at this sentence backwards. We have the right to defend ourselves, but it's a stupid situation in Florida. And if someone is advancing towards you after telling them to stop 3 times, you can open fire. He didn't say, yes, and this is good. He says, unfortunately, this is true in Florida. These white supremacists are the absolute scum and filth of the earth. They are the inhuman, subhuman scum and filth of existence. He's literally sitting here telling you that he doesn't like the laws of Florida because they've made it so broad what you can do to defend yourself. What he really means is that we never anticipated that these laws would be used to justify black people defending themselves. That's what they all really mean. Now they have a problem with Florida making the laws so broad. They were like, yeah, this was supposed to make it easy to kill you. Now they have to argue why their laws are bad. He's talking about it's unfortunate. She entered her car during the confrontation. She has no obligation to stay in her car. She was safe there. Says who? She didn't feel safe. Exiting the car and brandishing a firearm were both escalations on her part. First of all, y'all, remember these faceless accounts. Second of all, here, I want to remind you all of something. Let me go ahead and give you a little bit of education. This is not a thing. To all of you out there, I want you to understand something. And I'm one of the original people who taught you about brandishing a firearm, but I want you to understand brandishing a firearm is only an offense under a certain circumstance. Pointing a firearm at someone who is a threat, that's not brandishing a firearm. Getting out and holding a firearm in the air in a shopping mall, that's brandishing a firearm. Someone is a threat to you and you have retrieved a firearm because you perceive an immediate specific threat to you. That's not brandishing a firearm. So folks, this ain't a thing. Brandishing a firearm in this context here, that's not a thing. That's not a thing, folks. And one more thing, 115 followers. So you want to talk about your Russian bots, your white supremacist bot accounts? Yeah. She lost all of her self-defense protections when she got out of the car. None of them say that George Zimmerman lost his when he got out of his car with a gun. They all say, oh, well, he was fine. Here's another one. Officer Tatum, she left the safety of her vehicle with a gun. Now, they're arguing with the police officer that they all love. They all loved him right up until now, and now they're all arguing with him. You see that they're arguing with him, with a police officer. He told you what she could do, and they're saying, oh, hell no, I'm white and I say so. I'm white and I say that she should have just stayed in her car. I don't give a damn if you're a cop, nigga. She should have just stayed in her car. He told him what the law is. And they're coming in his comments to argue with him. She came out of her own vehicle with a gun to confront an unarmed man. I just showed y'all the video where he walked up on her. You just saw the video where he walks across the parking lot up on her, but every time they talk about it, they lie and say that don't you see her confronting him? Wait a minute, he just walked up on her. He's just walking to her. That's him confronting her. She's the one with the gun, but he's walking up to her confronting her. She's confronting him. She could have locked her doors. She could have driven away. She could have not argued. So all of this is a white supremacist talking. Everything is about the black person. No matter what a white person is doing to you, you need to retreat. You need to lock your doors. You need to drive away. You need to stop arguing. You could have left. He doesn't say that the other person should have done this. The guy who walked across the parking lot at her, he doesn't say, dude, you could have just got your damn buggy and gone to the cookie aisle and bought you some damn Oreos and go home. They didn't say that. Everything is about you. We need to talk you Negroes and bully you into knuckling under. So just understand that. They're very angry. Very, very angry. So in any case, they were on his page sitting up here arguing with him. And they were giving him the business. They were just upset. They were incensed. Officer Tatum, folks. I mean, man, is the sky falling? Now, I have to remind you all, I mean, I had to follow this stuff. I was up in the wee hours of the morning. I was way late. I had to follow these things. Oh, man. Now, here comes the suspected white supremacist lawyer. This guy has been wrong about so many damn things. His stance is basically show me the black person and I'll show you the crime. His stance on everything is basically show me the black person and I'll show you the crime. He takes the side of the white supremacist every time. The issue here is that, unfortunately, unlike the other incidents that he's tried to play defense attorney for the white supremacists before, unfortunately, this time there was damn video. Unfortunately, this time there was. And even he couldn't defend this nonsense. Andrew Branca said, if a man got into a confrontation with your wife in a parking lot, creating sufficient apprehension of harm that she pointed a pistol at him, but withheld from firing, and then he advanced on her as she backs up, despite her presentation of that pistol, and she finally shoots him, you'd call that murder? Damn! Folks, this is a guy who's got law credentials. There's only so much silliness and foolishness that he's going to make himself look stupid for. When he saw this, he's seen the whole video, and when he realized how far that guy went, he's like, yeah, you ain't gave me nothing to work with. I don't have anything to work with. You ran up on a woman, you're across the parking lot, you're belligerent, you chased her around cars, she told you to stop, she kept backing up, you ignored that she had a gun, you kept advancing on her, you didn't give me nothing to work with. And unfortunately, there's a video showing every damn thing you did. You didn't give me nothing to work with, so yeah, I gotta protect my reputation. Do y'all think, now you just saw a police officer explain all the factors and they argued with him. Their favorite buck dancing police officer, and they argued with him. Here is their favorite white supremacist attorney. Do you all think that they're going to finally just say, yeah, you know, we're in the wrong. We're white supremacists and stupid. We had a rough day. Let's go smoke some meth and get some Jim Beam and go drink it off this evening. Do you think they did that, or do you think they're going to come over here and argue with the lawyer? Which one do you think they're going to do? You think it's self-defense to shoot an unarmed man 9 feet away? This is the Carmelo shot all over again.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
Folks, this isn't just a police officer anymore. Now this is a lawyer. This is a lawyer. And they don't give a damn. They're coming to argue with their own white supremacist lawyer now. He told them, hey, fellas, we ain't got a leg to stand on. White supremacy. They came to argue. He didn't give the answer that they wanted, so now they're coming to argue with him. If he's advancing on my wife's drawn pistol every day of the week and twice on Sundays, the white supremacists are probably doxing him right now. I bet you used to date a black woman, didn't you, Branca? Y'all know they're doxing him right now. You know that they're doxing him right now. And we bet you used to date a colored. These clowns groping for straws. The video doesn't show the entire story. Yes, it did. This video is longer and shows her attempting to retreat, but he kept coming at her even after she wanted the gun in him. I don't like folks saying that. So just say it the first time straight, people. Y'all got to say it the first time straight. Do not sit up here and the video is longer and shows him attempting to do that. Say that. But furthermore, every video posted shows her backing up. So that's a lie. Every video that is shown shows her backing up. You can't find a single one that doesn't show her backing up. She doesn't have to back up all the way across the damn interstate. When you're black, you got to back up and keep walking backwards till you in a different damn zip code like Forrest Gump running a marathon. No, you don't. Every video clip shows her stepping backwards. She doesn't have to step back 1,000 feet. 2-3 steps, she good. Let him down. Sufficient apprehension. Y'all, who is this guy? Okay, he's just a parody account, and he's a parody of silliness. Here he is to argue. Sufficient apprehension is not the legal standard at play here. It's reasonable fear of imminent death or bodily harm. And I don't think enough facts are in on this one yet to make a judgment. Folks, these are the white supremacists arguing with their own lawyer. They're arguing with their own. I brought the invoices, people, not the receipts. I'm showing you that even with clear, incontrovertible evidence, they're not stopping when their own lawyer tells them, hey, these are the facts. You can't do this. And what they really want to say is she's black and black people cannot stop us from harming them. They don't want to come out and say that, so now they're going to try to quibble over everything, no matter how silly. And so they're arguing that. How does he reply? Show me where the Florida self-defense statute uses the word fear. Did y'all get that? By the way, just in case you think I'm biased, this guy talking about you have to be in fear of imminent fear of, and by the way, he put in quotations, reasonable fear of imminent death or bodily harm. Branca said, show me where the Florida self-defense statute uses the word fear. Also the term reasonable belief. These guys are sitting up here talking and whatnot, and they're arguing with their own lawyer. Don't worry, we'll come back to you in just a moment here. They're arguing with their own lawyer. One after another, based purely on the video and nothing else, could easily be self-defense. They're talking as if this is not incontrovertibly self-defense. But on its face, man approaching armed woman while knowing she's armed equals safe to say he wasn't coming to help her with groceries. The white supremacists hated that. Oh, they despise it, especially if you're a white person saying that. It's not because what you're saying is wrong. It's what you're saying is off code. Hey, you're white and you're not supposed to be off code. You're white and you're not supposed to be off code. Then they start quibbling over this equal force. You see, when they lose everything else, then they say, new law, new standard. You can only use the force being used against you, but he's a man running up on a woman. But he doesn't have a gun. He's a man running up on a woman. If he's black, Jordan Neely didn't have a gun. What was the equal force used against him? He was snuck up on. So then they start inventing new standards. You use disproportionate force. It's not equal force. So this is how pathetic they are. This guy here is a little bit close to being an honest white supremacist. Being a woman doesn't give you the right to be a bee and shoot people over a parking lot dispute. You saw the video. It wasn't over a parking lot dispute. She assaulted him the moment she pointed the gun at him. He assaulted her when he ran across a parking lot and ran up on her. She went there to murder him.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
Folks, I want to show you how unhinged these Cro-Magnon Neanderthals are. This is how unhinged they are, and it's delicious. Cookie! Nom, 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 oh, nom, nom. It is delicious. The delirium is delicious. She went there to murder him. Now, let's be clear, folks. I want you to understand something. This is white supremacist projection. This is what the white supremacists do. White supremacists leave their houses looking for a black person to ambush. They go looking for black women, black children, black elderly people, Chud the Blunder. They go looking for black easy targets. They get up in the morning, get in their cars, get a gun, go looking for black teenagers, Trayvon Martin, Jordan Russell Davis, Tamir Rice. They're projecting because this is what they do. So I want you all to understand the 720 degrees of analysis. He's projecting. To him, it makes sense because this is what he would do. This is what him and the other white supremacists do. They get up looking for a black person to murder. They're not going to Walmart to shop. They're going to Walmart to intercept the black person if possible. If there is a crime of opportunity that can be committed, look for an opportunity to do that. And that's what they do. You have this comment here. Yeah, the full clip shows her backing away around 3 different cars. Everything Jason Black told you all. Everything I told you. If my wife was followed and advanced on like that, I'd expect her to kill him. Do these folks stop? No. You didn't see the part where she gets in the car and then gets the gun out and goes after him with it. Goes after him backwards. She exited the safety of her vehicle brandishing a weapon. Stand your ground does not apply. It's not a good shoot. You see these white supremacist clowns using that language? A good shoot. If it's legal, it's good. But because they don't want to characterize a white person being killed in the commission of a crime against a black person, they don't want to have to call that justifiable. It's self-defense to some degree because Bozo decided to keep advancing on her. So do you notice the white supremacists do not even stay consistent about their own statements. So as soon as you start pressing them, notice that they start backing down. As soon as other white supremacists start putting pressure on them, that's reminding them that they're off code, and then they start watering down their statements. So I'm showing you at not just the high level, but the ground level, that take a look at what happens when they start nudging each other and saying, hey, you're off code over there. They know that they're not making an argument that she did anything illegal. These folk arguing with him are here to let him know, hey, Petsy, you're off code. And then he starts watering it down. When he was talking about it was his wife, he would expect her to kill him. As soon as they started pressing him, well, I mean, it's self-defense to some degree. So for your wife, would it be self-defense to some degree? When he was up here, it wasn't to some degree. As soon as the white supremacists start pressing him, well, to some degree. So just y'all understand that even for white folk who do say the right thing, they're immediately going to start getting pressed by other white supremacists to say, hey, you know that ain't right. And they let them know, hey, we saw what you just said there. Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on here? That's what that's about. So, here come folks again. You need to have a reasonable fear of great bodily harm or death. So, now understand what they're all saying here, folks. So, what you're saying is that you defend a black man. You defend a black man walking up on a white woman like this, and that she has no right to harm him. Correct? Folks, so what you're saying is that if a black male did exactly what he's doing to a white woman, that they would all say that she is not justified in taking any action, that she should have jumped back in her car, even if she had to walk through him. She should have just jumped back in her car and left. This is the problem. What they're saying is that, okay, so what you're saying is that a white woman should have done the same thing. Nobody is arguing that the white woman, if this was a black male, the white woman is expected to do the exact same thing. If a black man walks up on her, she is expected to find her car, get up, and leave. He can stay at Walmart, and she is expected to leave. Now, you know full damn well they're never going to tell you that a black man has the right to make a white woman leave where she is. So just understand, I wanted to show you all that they just kept arguing with him. They kept arguing. I call it murder when you don't show the whole video of this woman approaching another vehicle with the gun in hand, and this man approached her to disarm her. He approached her to disarm her. How are you going to disarm her without assaulting her? Because you all said that George Zimmerman had a right to kill Trayvon Martin. Well, Trayvon Martin was, by that argument, then you must be arguing that Trayvon Martin was disarming the threat. And what they're saying is that, well, he has a right to take your weapon from you. Not that he should leave you alone. Do you all see these white supremacists? How does he respond? If you try to disarm me of my pistol, I will absolutely shoot you in your face. Folks, they're arguing against their own laws now, only because they would have to protect a black person's right to life, liberty, and happiness. This is white supremacy. They're going to immediately take both sides of the argument. They defend the Constitution only for themselves, and when it's not convenient, now they attack constitutional rights, but only if it defends you. Now she's saying that any random white person has the right to walk up on you and disarm you. So a black person has the right to walk up on this alleged possible internet white female. So we have the right to come walk up on you and disarm you. Correct? Hey, y'all, is she going to make the argument that black men have the right to walk up on her and disarm her? Do any of them argue that, by the way, and black people have the right to walk up on us and disarm us? If we have a gun, a black person, we're not supposed to use it. A black person should be able to walk up on us and disarm us. So, I mean, they're just, absolutely out of their minds. absolutely out of their minds. It's like, you can't say that. Yes, she murdered him. The person with the gun has a greater responsibility than the unarmed person. Ask every cop. We already did. Damn! Ask every cop. We already did. Matter of fact, we called your buck dancing police officer. We called him. And he said, yeah, it's self-defense. White supremacists are repugnant. She wanted to shoot him. Now, never mind the fact that, well, this right here, George Zimmerman had greater responsibility. Of course, they're going to tell you, well, Trayvon had the responsibility to let George Zimmerman be a cop. Bronca just says, ha ha, no. So according to your logic, any woman, here come the white supremacists saying that, by the way, we should be able to use any force we want to against the females. Keep that in mind. I've been telling y'all that this was coming for a long damn time. Ever since George Zimmerman, I told y'all, white women, you just let off something else because the white men are going to come for you at some point. Well, guess what? They here and coming. So according to your logic, any woman can shoot a man because they get in an argument and he keeps talking. He's not talking. He's walking up on her. He's just talking. That's I'm white and I say so. Why didn't he, if he's talking, why didn't he talk across the parking lot? He's walking up on her. He's just talking. Now, they understand that. They're not stupid. They are not stupid. They're just liars, but they're not dumb. They're just lying. At what point was he a threat to her life in order for her to use deadly force? Just by being a man? So in other words, black men, these people need to come to your defense if you get up in a white woman's face who's pointing a gun at you and you disarm her. They're supposed to come and defend you. Don't expect them to come. They're going to be on her side then. Branca, it's not, quote, just talking when you're closing proximity in a drawn pistol. Do y'all see how long these folk are coming on with this garbage at this man? Do you all see how long they are persisting in saying this irrational drivel? Not because they're irrational, but they're trying to get him back in line. They're doing this to remind him, hey, you're supposed to be our lawyer. You're supposed to be our lawyer. Bump, bump, remember? Nudge, nudge. Just remember, they're not saying this because they think that anything they're saying is correct, logical, or legal. They're saying this because what they did to the other guys. Hey, don't you see all of us pushing back on this? You're supposed to be looking at this and realizing that you're off code. You need to get back on code. He's not doing it. That's why they keep talking, because they're all trying to get him back on code, but it's not working. It's not working. Now, remember, he tries to leave himself an out. I'm responding to what's in the video. You were not, this guy said that he started the confrontation by blocking a parking spot. She continued the confrontation by getting out with a gun. He continued the confrontation by yelling and advancing on her. He says, I'm responding to what's in the video. You were not there. You have no idea what else might have happened. The video shows that we've seen enough. We've seen enough. So just understand, they were arguing with their own lawyer here. They're arguing with their own lawyer. So if you're the cop and you say it, they're arguing with you. If you're the lawyer and you say it, they're arguing with you. They're arguing with police officers and lawyers who are showing all the steps, citing the statute, citing procedure. This is not about law, people. This is about white supremacy. supremacy. That's what they're gathering around now. All right, folks. Well, if you needed any other reasons to like him, former WWE wrestler Val Venus basically is on the correct side of this. Did she aim the pistol at him? Yes. Did she warn him multiple times to get back? Yes. Did the man get back? No. So he's actually posted a bunch of times letting folk know, hey, y'all need to quit this. She was in the right. The white supremacists are not happy. Look for them to go bust up all their dolls. Here comes this David Muir clown, ABC News, of course, coming in. Man killed over parking space. If this were O.J. Simpson, I want y'all to think about this. If this were O.J. Simpson and they had video of Nicole Brown with O.J. walking up on Nicole Brown like this, would they say O.J. Simpson kills O.J. Simpson over a parking space? If they showed this video with O.J. Simpson walking up on Nicole Brown or any white woman in a parking lot, if this was O.J. Simpson walking a woman, would they then be saying O.J. killed over a parking space? So you got to understand, your so-called liberals, no, they're not. There's right-wing white supremacy, left-wing white supremacy. They're all white supremacists. When it comes to the subject of you, they all fall in line and all get on code. ABC sounds just like the New York Post and Fox News when it comes to attacking you. Just notice how they all got lockstep and they all start talking the same when it's time to attack you. Now they're all the same. Oh, I was documenting everything, folks. I did not bring receipts. I brought invoices. I brought everything. Now, this was another one. Now, I made a post here that Kyle Rittenhouse is showing he's as dumb and racist as the world always said he was. If you tell someone to stop advancing on you and they keep coming at you, they are in the wrong if they continue. That is the law. And Rittenhouse is only free today because of the corrupt judge. Did you all know this here? Did y'all know this here? Did y'all see that? Did you all see that the Post is gone now? Kyle Rittenhouse, boy, I'm telling you, little fat, pudgy, lying bastard coward. Just showing you, if you're backing him, it just says you in your life is what it does. He wouldn't even stand by his own words. The Post is gone. That's it. Poof. Unavailable. Resigned to the ether. I don't have the Post to be able to show you here, and Rittenhouse wouldn't stand by his words, so I don't have the Post to be able to show you here. But if I did have the Post to show you, it would probably look like this. If I had the Post to show you, the Post would probably look like this. Oh, what do you know, y'all? Kyle Rittenhouse took his post down. Unfortunately, the Black Authority, the foundational Black Authority, was ready. So, hey, Kyle, this is what you said. PSA, self-defense isn't, I was told to leave, so I stabbed him, or he took my parking spot, so I shot him. Your life must be in actual imminent danger. Anything less is murder. Why do so many people not understand this? Yeah, Kyle Pillsbury Rittenhouse was so confident of what he said that he removed his post. He was so confident about this that he removed it. Unfortunately for the little rotund bastard, I was on the case, so there will be no running. Oh, and Judge Schrader ain't here to protect your ass now, so there will be no running. By the way, in the chat room on the Zoom, we're going to get Thomas here to call us up on Zoom here. Nobody else, just Thomas. He's going to be the only one who's going to call us up here on Zoom. Nobody else. If anybody else does, I'm going to kick you out, so you've been warned. But he's going to give us a call, so he's no longer allowed to post in the chat room. He has to get on Zoom. If he's not on Zoom in the next 2 minutes, we'll go ahead and ban him. Because we want the white supremacists, they mad, boy. They mad. They're angry. The facts, they don't have a fact or a leg to stand on. White supremacy ain't working. White supremacy ain't working. So they're having all kinds of fits. They're having all kinds of fits here, folks. Oh, they're having all kinds of fits. White, I'm white and I say so isn't working. Just recognize what the real issue is. The real issue is they are accustomed to I'm white and I say so working. But it isn't. So they started checking around and realized, oh, damn, I'm white and I say so. It's not working this time. And what do the little cowards do? They run. They run. So I want you all to understand, when the Foundational Black Authority reposted what Rittenhouse said, Rittenhouse ran. So keep that in mind. So I had to screenshot this. I had to screenshot this because that was what happened. So, they're real mad they can't get away from it. Let me go ahead and screenshot this right quick. By the way, I would be remiss if I didn't say Lil Wayne's little drug ass was hanging out with him. So it's basically coon confirmation. So we can have that. We can have that. But Kyle Rittenhouse has been left out of here. So, folks, I was all over it. I was all over it. I was covering everything so I could give you the definitive analysis of it. All the usual suspects, all the suspected white supremacists, all of them down the line. All of them down the line. I was there. Of course, Fox News. The problem with Fox News is that, as you can see, what happens when you start showing the uncut video? Oh, man. Hey, folks. Now, this is without any edits. Now, what happens when you start posting the video with no cuts or edits? Well, I'll be damned. Oh! Well, there she, I know Fox News was apoplectic. There she is. She's walking toward her car. When she turned her back, did he stop where he was? Hell no. He started getting faster. She's walking back towards her car, and he doesn't go about his business. He's following her still to her car. This is why they didn't want to show this video. They did not want to show this, so even Fox News was like, damn it. There's whole uncut video out there, and damn it. So even they started taking their Pepto-Bismol and saying, damn, we ain't got a leg to stand on. Uncut video is out there. The uncut video is already out there in the wild. So we can't just make a white supremacist narrative. You didn't give us enough to work with. You're supposed to hide the video so that we can make it up as we want to go along. You're not supposed to put the whole video out there so that we can't craft a narrative. So we can't craft a lie. So, yeah. Now, what they don't do is show the beginning where y'all saw him run up on her across the parking lot. They don't show that part. So the minivan that was next to her, notice that's already gone. So they cut that out. You can post up to, I think, 2 minutes. They can post up to 2 minutes on Twitter. Their account, those should be able to post much longer. They didn't even post the whole 2 minutes. They clipped it out so that you wouldn't see him running up on her. So, man. Oh, it was bad. It was awful. Yeah, even Fox News, they were hopeful that give us some way to demonize, some way to do it. And the more information, just like the further back in history you get, the blacker the world gets, the more transparent you become, the more guilty you white supremacists become. Damn. Sucks to be you. Let's go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick. Let's see who we got over here on Zoom. I think we got somebody here on Zoom now. Is this Tomas on Zoom? Turn off your YouTube. Turn that off. I think we got somebody on Zoom now. Okay, turn off your YouTube. You got me playing there. Turn off.
All right, got it.
Okay, sir. Now, are you Tomas on YouTube?
Yeah, or Tomaticus.
Okay,
Yep.
well, no, Tomas or Tommas.
I don't know. I got the message, so I didn't want to get banned.
Okay, I don't want that either, but is your screen name Tomas or Tommas?
No.
Okay, then I'm not looking for you.
All right, I'm going to get off.
All right. He covered his bases, but yeah, he's not the one I'm looking for there, so it's not looking for you. Not looking for you. Good call there, brother. He heard me say Thomas, but you're not the Thomas I want. I want the other one, although he's late, so we're probably going to end up banning him. But that's okay. Look, I want to show this. I want to show the white supremacists running. I want to show them cowering. I want to show them sitting up here saying stupid stuff and then running and lying. That's what I really want to show you all is there's no need to fear them because they are the cowards. They always have been. Their biggest fear is that they're going to have to stand by anything. When they don't have a system to rig the game and rig the outcome, they're not brave, they're cowards. They're not even keyboard warriors, they're keyboard cowards. I'm just here to show you example after example after example. Even hiding behind screen names. They're such cowards that even behind a screen name, they won't defend it. When you call them out even by their screen name, they put in their pocket protectors and their blow-up dolls and go running. So I just wanted to show you all that. Fox News couldn't defend it. The more you show, the worse it gets. Nick Fuentes spazzing out because the white women would want to be somewhere classy. Russia Today. Okay, Russia Today. Not looking good for y'all either, by the way. You're looking like ABC and the rest of them. So keep that in mind, so-called Russia Today. They're looking like ABC and the rest of them. Because we all know that Russia doesn't have a white supremacist pedigree. We all know that. Okay, Russia Today looks like all the American white supremacists. So this guy here, from the video I've seen so far, looks like murder, although it cuts away at a critical instant. Did he try to rush her? If he was talking to her and she just popped off around in anger, it's murder. The video was already out there, folks. I want y'all to notice I had already posted this. So the video was already out here. This video was out here on July 2nd. If this guy posted on July 2nd, because he reposted the New York Post. I've got this video here. Anybody who went going and looking for the whole video could find it. Why didn't he? Of course he saw it. All they want to put the word out there. It's murder. It's murder. It's not self-defense. It's murder. The more facts come in, it debunks it. Then they start saying, well, why didn't she put herself in a position where she wouldn't have to shoot him? Now, this is a different one I want to show here. Because remember, throughout history, everybody wants to be a strict constitutional constructionist and, the Constitution according to the framers and the founders and everything's about the Constitution. Everyone is a strict constitutionalist right up until you say that the Constitution covers us. Then all of a sudden they start saying, wait a minute, we need to rethink that Second Amendment. Like the Black Panthers, when the NRA would not defend them. Yeah, the NRA defends everybody's gun rights, but when the Black Panthers had guns, all of a sudden they said we need gun control. They really meant Negro control. All of a sudden, the NRA is anti-Second Amendment. And so are all the rest of them, because the Second Amendment is supposed to be a tool of terrorism, is their point. So this guy right here, I wanted to make sure folks saw that. You can see Self-Reliance 2A. So he's claiming to be some Second Amendment proponent. He just saw the video you all saw when I make the point to him that if that were your wife, if that was your wife, your daughter, your mother, and some dude was accosting her in a parking lot and she had a gun and he's continuing to chase her around and run up on her, are you going to sit up here and say, well, I don't know if she should take action or not. I don't know if she should do that. I don't know if she should. This was his response. Interesting case that could go either way. What? Would I want to defend myself under this fact pattern? No, I wouldn't. If it was my daughter or wife alone in a parking lot, how would I feel about it? Never draw on a drawn gun. Also, never approach or advance on a drawn gun. Let's see how it plays out. He doesn't say if it was my daughter or wife alone, she should stop the assailant. He doesn't say that. He's just like, well, he gets real philosophical. Up here, he says what he wouldn't do. When asked about the women in his family, well, you shouldn't draw on a drawn gun and don't approach or advance on a drawn gun and all of a sudden they start equivocating and he doesn't know if he would tell his own wife or daughter to defend herself. That's the point I'm making. When I confronted him about this, he doesn't say that he would tell his own wife or daughter to defend themselves. Matter of fact, he says that he wouldn't want to have to defend himself under these circumstances. What he means is defend his actions, not defend his life. Well, I wouldn't have to defend doing this. Okay, if it was your wife or daughter, well, he doesn't say that he wouldn't want them to defend themselves, have to defend their actions. He just says, well, don't run up on a drawn gun, but he doesn't say that they should defend themselves, because then you'd have to say, well, that woman, well, what are you arguing about then? If it was your wife, you'd have told her to do the same thing. So this is how vicious these white supremacists are, is they're doing everything to avoid saying that a black person has a right to defend themselves if confronted by a white person. They're doing everything they can to avoid doing that. So it was absolutely a disgusting set of circumstances. It really, really was. There were some other folks also that I was doing my job debunking, laying it out there and stuff. I'm not going to go round and round with folks all evening about that, because unlike them, I got real things to take care of. And beside that fact, this issue was resolved to the good of the general public. So I'm very proud about that. So these folks were unhappy. I was reminding all of the Neanderthals that Florida is an open carry state, that the courts in Florida just reaffirmed that. So folks were trying to argue that Florida is not an open carry state. The Florida Supreme Court said, yes, we are. Doesn't matter how you look at the law. The Florida Supreme Court said, yes, we are an open carry state. To which I reminded them, now the white supremacists wrote these laws in order to make it easier to murder unarmed black people. And now phony 2A experts are saying the laws don't exist because it backfired on them. Truly weak and pathetic. He's talking about, you don't know that open carry does not include manual possession. You cannot brandish a weapon. We already covered what brandishing a weapon is. And I told him, she told him to stop advancing on her. He persisted. At that moment, it becomes self-defense. It doesn't matter that she got out with a gun. George Zimmerman trial proved that, remember? A so-called Florida CCA instructor should know all this. No, seriously, he should. Because this guy claimed to be a concealed carry instructor. And I'm like, a Florida concealed carry instructor should know all this. No, seriously, you should know all this. If her shot missed him and killed an innocent bystander, would she be in trouble with the law? If was a fifth, we'd all be alcoholics. If she fired at the side of the building, would it be property damage? Don't let white supremacists get you off into stupid arguments. You didn't address the statute cited in the tweet you quoted. Already debunked, not liking the truth won't help. Here it is with bullet points. Pardon the expression. I know y'all are probably sensitive about that right now. He advanced on her around several cars. She retreated several times. She told him to stop. He kept advancing. Florida is open carry. Florida is stand your ground. The rest is physics.
And deal with it.
Like it or lump it. So they were very, very angry. Oh, look at them, boy. They're very, very angry. Oh, man. All the stuff they do, boy, they just mad as hell. I'm just sitting there. By the way, all I really want them to do is I'm just saying stuff to get them to go ahead and respond because I want to have proof to come back and show all of you that these are the very people that if you ran up on their wife like that, they would have told you that she had the right to shoot you clean across the building. She could have shot you from 1,000 feet away. However, for you all of a sudden, you have to run. Your woman has to run. Her woman can shoot us anytime, any place, anywhere, even if she just feels a little nervous. If she feels nervous, she has the right to murder you. These folk here, they can run up on her no matter what. So what they're saying is that they are never going to attack somebody saying that a white man cannot accost or assault a black person under any circumstance. They're not going to sit up here and say that. So they're not arguing the events as they happen. They're not arguing that. They're arguing for white supremacy. Now, people, on top of everything else here, it gets worse. We've seen Officer Buck Dancing Brandon. We've seen Lawyer Branca. Next up is Nate the Tether Coon. Some of y'all have seen him on YouTube. And by the way, y'all notice the YouTube always boosts these. The Sambos and Buck Dancers, YouTube makes sure to boost them in the algorithm. They give them an audience. They post them on your page, whether you see them or not. So they're going to suggest Brandon Tatum, Tim Pool, Nate the Nitwit. They're going to put them on your page no matter what. These folk are going to be suggested to you no matter what you do. Now, my page gets hidden. They conceal mine. They don't even let my followers know when I'm live. They don't even tell all of you who are subscribed to me when I'm live. But they will push Nate the Tether Nitwit on you. You don't have to ask for his page. YouTube will force his page on you. They'll bring him to you no matter what. So there's a reason why all of you know who he is, because YouTube forces him on your feed no matter what you do. Okay, well, what did Nate the Nitwit have to say? Looks like clear self-defense. Man chases woman around the car. She draws a firearm and retreats. He continues to advance toward her. She stands her ground and fires. Looks like a 100% justified shoot to me. Do you think that the white supremacists down here let it go? Another lawyer, and they did it again. Did you get that? Another lawyer, and they're arguing with him again. She left the safety of her car. She could have drove off with locked doors. So did George Zimmerman. What's your point? Is that what happened though, Nate? So they're angry and upset. Boy, they're just beside themselves. They're still arguing here. Just take a look. This is Nate's audience, people. This is his audience here. If this is the case, then sure, I haven't seen the video, but I'd say that's justified. With that said, the niggers who defend this need to start defending other shootings. Okay, so just understand the white supremacists, what they're really talking about. What they're really talking about. What was the conversation? It's retarded murder where no violence would have likely taken place. If you think that's the law, don't come near me. I'm armed. Okay. So he doesn't like violence, and then he threatens violence. So, yeah. If it looked like this, these keyboard self-defense experts would have a different story. Yeah, this picture right here says it all. This picture right here says it all. Yeah. If it looked like this, it'd be a different story. So, of course, somebody here said, Nate, it's good to see you tap dancing for white supremacy. Your tap dancing for white supremacy put on hold to speak truth to power. I know tomorrow you'll go back to back scratching for massa, but today I celebrate you, sir. So glad you said that, dude, because I followed Nate just to make sure. And by the way, it didn't take him very long. It didn't take Nate very long to start cooning again. I believe George Zimmerman was justified in using self-defense. I believe Kyle Rittenhouse was justified in using self-defense. Yeah. He comes back the next day, and he comes back a little bit later, and yeah, he's right back to buck dancing. Right back to full-blooded cooning. So, just in case you thought that maybe he came to the light side of the force, no. Not at all. Not even close. Not a chance. So, just understand, the real problem was the video. Ordinarily, they would attempt to argue. They would attempt to justify it. They try to find some way to justify the white supremacist angle. The problem here is the damn video. The video makes it impossible. They can't do it because the video makes it impossible for it to work. She had a whole, now to the guy who posted this AI picture, here they come. She had a whole parking lot and store to retreat to. Is there a duty to retreat in Florida's self-defense law? So look, would they be, if this were the case of a black male running up on a white woman, would they be saying that she had a duty to retreat into the store? Would they be making any of these arguments if a black man ran up on their wife? Would they be arguing, baby, run into the store, run across the street, hop the fence? Would they be saying that? Of course not. Oh boy, they were upset with that fella. You're white and you're off code, and you brought a picture of it. So the white supremacists couldn't help themselves. They couldn't contain themselves. They were blowing up all over the damn place. Here comes Good Morning America to follow up on the ABC News. So the Disney Corporation in full-blown white supremacist mode, massaging the facts, full-blown white supremacist mode, doing what they do. So that's exactly what they're doing there. I just wanted to show you all just how many of the suspects here are doing what they do. Yeah, you don't have any friends out there. You don't have any friends out there. If this was a white woman, they would not be saying anything other than that. They would not be saying that. Which is why they're not saying it. We already covered Anthony Cumia. Thank you so much for your racism, Anthony, for making this all very easy. This is like playing wiffle ball. This is like playing pee-wee ball. They made it so easy. They teed the ball up. All I got to do is grand slam it out of the stadium. The ball's not even moving. It's just sitting there floating in the air. So thank you, Anthony Cumia, for making this so easy for me. And thank you for making the contrast between justice and white supremacy so stark. Thank you for making it so clear that everyone can see exactly what it is. And when they take your side, they know exactly what you are. I made the point here that last week, the racists all said a white woman is being threatened if you so much as look at her. And if you yell at her, they can kill you, Daniel Penny. This week, the racists say a black woman is not being threatened if a white man does the same thing. She has no right to stop him. Ain't that interesting? George Zimmerman stalked an unarmed teenager at night, got out of his car with a gun, and then attacked the teen. The bigots all defended that. They never said that getting out of his car with a gun invalidated self-defense, which is what we all said a decade ago. Today, if you're black and you get out of the car with a gun, the bigots say that is a crime. George Zimmerman gets out of his car with a gun, that's okay. You get out of your car with a gun, you've committed a crime right then. Now, that's not facts. That's I'm white and I say so. Now, folks have been digging here. And by the way, Mr. DeGuglielmo, oh boy, there's a reason why the white supremacist media is not talking about him, because you know that if he was doing stuff like this isn't his first time. So I'm pretty sure if they look into a criminal record on this guy, yeah, there's a reason why none of the white supremacist suspects are jumping in here, because then you have to prove he was a saint. Then you have to prove he was a good dude. It's going to be rough. By the way, don't be surprised. Don't be fooled. Don't be anything else. The white supremacists jumped in here and said, it doesn't matter. What? Yeah, you know, when they say that if they harm you, if your mama ever got arrested, Freddie Gray, if your uncle ever got arrested, the Harambe incident, if anybody in your family ever got arrested, then that makes it okay that you got shot by the police unarmed in the back from 50 feet away. If anybody in your family ever got arrested. You show this, In the Carmelo Anthony case, the only person with a criminal record were the Metcalfs. Damn! Those were the only people with prior criminal records. The media flat out ignored that. They flat out ignored that. Here they are again. We don't see no criminal records around here. Now all of a sudden they don't want to discuss criminal records. Folks, this is why you can't have buck dancing, ass kissing coons working at these television networks, working at these corporations. If you got black folk there, it's their job to put those things front and center. They're supposed to be in the newsrooms and whatnot, making sure that if you're always covering criminal records for black juveniles who are victims, then you need to be doing, if you're going to do that, then you should at least be consistent here. So where is your black representation in these places? Oh, I'm sorry. That's why they get buck dancing coons to go work for them. Specifically and precisely so that will not happen. So I just wanted to go ahead and put that in its proper context for you. These folks supposed to be at these corporations bringing these facts out. They're supposed to be there at the anchorman of these desks. They're supposed to be on these panels and whatnot, pointing that out. Why are they not making sure that makes it into these news pieces? Not saying a word. Not saying a word. And then the face of white supremacy. They won't have a case here with a white person when it's just nothing but black folk talking about it. They won't be doing that. They won't be doing that. So yeah, folks, it was a full week. It was a full week. I would be remiss if I didn't say, y'all do understand all the damn Uncle Toms and Sambos. Man, them jive talking niggas took off they damn tap shoes for about 3 good minutes. They stopped chasing white women and took off they tap dancing shoes for about 3 good minutes. They didn't keep them off. They took them off and then put them right back on again. Everybody knows this coon here, Anthony Logan. Y'all all know him from YouTube. You got to watch out for these old niggas. And he's sitting up there and whatnot, and this, oh man, they start talking about self-defense. These guys got to go argue against their own damn audiences. This case is hella inconvenient because now they got to argue against their own damn audiences. Y'all know white supremacy. Boy, this freeze frame right here. I mean, bucking the eyes and cooning this freeze frame right here. Oh, this is everything. This is everything on this freeze frame right here. This just sums up his life.
The shooting that took place at a Walmart in North Lauderdale, South Florida, that started over a parking spot. Bart DeGuglielmo lost his life, and the shooter, as of right now, has not been identified. Now, spoiler alert, this is a clear-cut case of self-defense, especially in Florida, where they have stand your ground laws. Now,
yeah, buddy.
This incident started with these 2 people squabbling in the parking lot over the space. DeGuglielmo parks his car in the street at an angle to block the spot away from the woman. She was eventually able to park in the spot, I believe, when he went inside the store. His car was just in the street left like that. Fast forward, it's not in the street. It's in the middle of the lane, the parking lanes there in the parking lot. So just to show y'all, he had this woman blocked in. None of these other folks said anything about this. Why didn't she just drive away? And they're going to tell, I told you all, don't think that that's going to stop them. Don't think that telling them that,
Well, she should have just driven away. He had her blocked in. You saw what they said. She should have run in the store. She should have gotten in her car. I'm telling y'all, they would just say she needs to keep doing more. You need to keep doing more. Well, she got in her car. She should have just sat there. You need to just get in your car and sit there. Well, what if she gets in her car and then he gets a weapon? Well, then if he shoots you, well, he's in the wrong. What? She could have stopped that before. So just remember, they're not going to stop telling you you have to do things. No matter what you do, they're going to keep telling you that you need to do more. You need to do more. You just need to keep doing more. She needs to run in the store. If he falls in the store, she should have found a store associate. If he starts, you should have called the police. You should have hid in the freezer. What? You should have run to the frozen food aisle and hidden inside of one of the freezers. They would not stop. And no, I'm not joking. They would just keep telling you that you need to do more. Now, folks, what if she's not in good enough health to be running around? What if she's got a heart condition? What if she's got arthritis? What if she's in no condition to be running from folk? We don't give a damn. You just need to run. Whatever you do, you don't ever harm one of us. So even if you got to drop dead, you just don't harm one of us. That's what you do. So recognize what the real point here is. The real point is to tell you that you don't have any right to do anything except run from a white person. Whatever you do, you make sure that you don't harm them when they want to harm you. Whatever you got to do, even if it costs you your life, you just make sure you don't cross that line. Well, in his comments section, yeah, oh boy. Okay. All right. You see his comments section. Where's his support, y'all? She could have easily moved around the car with the gun pointed and stayed away from him. He was slow and old. No, he wasn't. By the way, these faceless accounts, so white supremacist bots, anyone? Oh, wow. Typical defense lawyer, completely clueless. You are like a effing child that puts his hands over his ears and yells, nah, 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 nah. So, yeah, they're arguing with him over there. Even with him showing you that she was boxed in, and they're still like, damn, the more facts that come out, the more information that comes out, the worse that it gets. That was the point that I made. The more information that comes out, the worse that it gets. Now, I want to be very, very clear about something else right here. This program was founded on the 3 principles: unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. So you see, once you become categorized as an enemy of the state, once you become a coon, you don't get to transition out of that. I can excuse somebody who's young and dumb or whatever, but when you one of these YouTube coons who makes a career out of it, when you're one of these PragerU Sambos, Turning Point Sambos, when you make a career out of this is your bread and coon butter. Yeah, you don't get to walk that backwards. You have black folk being killed. It's brought to your attention that this is white supremacy. If you don't immediately retreat and back off of that, you just keep going. Well, I know they did, but you make a career of stepping over the bodies of dead black people. Oh no, you don't never walk that one backwards. Candace Owens, baby, let the dogs have your ass. You've made a career of attacking black people. Every time a black person gets harmed, you've made a career of defending the white supremacists, never defending us against them. And you won't see her jump up about this case either. So no, let the dogs have your ass. You will never be able to come back over here to us. You are a coon without a country. See, there's the problem with folk like that. Folk, when you become coons and sambos, understand something. You become a man without a nation. You become a man without a country. You don't have a people. You're just some weirdo walking around out here. You don't have a home. And you damn sure don't get to come to us when the white supremacists sink their fangs into you, which they inevitably will. You don't get to do that. Your ass hangs out there. And when they eventually get around to practicing injustice towards you because the jig is up, don't come to us talking about racism. Y'all saw when Candace Owens talked about Turning Point USA and racism and Donald Trump and racism. I said, don't be calling out racism now. Ain't no racism. Let the dogs have you. I'm not going to defend you against them. Let the dogs have your raggedy ass. Let them have you. Let them have you. So once you start the cooning thing, forget that. I'm on your damn neck for life. I'm on your neck for life. Belt to ass, boot to head, forever. The beef is on. The beef is on. What most deafs say, all we can do is collide together. We can't ride together nor slide together. All we can do is collide together. We can't do a damn thing but beef from here on in. Even if you, for 5 seconds, you do the broken clock thing, it's like, okay, your 2 seconds of the day are up. A broken clock, or your 2 minutes. You are correct, 2 minutes of a day. Your 2 minutes are up. Back to the beef. Back to the scrap. You don't get no damn pass. You don't get reclassified. So I wanted to show you all that. I said, oh, my slot. Call me whatever you want, bro. But I have never been afraid to express myself truthfully with my real face and real name, unlike you. And I said, yes, Nick Fuentes is an honest white supremacist. You are an honest Sambo. And flat earthers are honest anti-science, anti-facts idiots. Being truthful about being wrong isn't something to brag on. Hell no, I ain't getting off your neck, nigga. Staying on it. But Jason, he agreed with you. And back to the beef. We back on you. Just that quick. He thought he bought some damn breathing room. Hell no. Boots to ass. I'm just pointing out that the coons are sitting up here agreeing with us. They don't even have a leg to stand on. You have not had your coon status revoked. Your coon card is still very good. Your coon card is still active. No, you are not on our side. No, you never will be. Yes, you will leave this world as a coon and a Sambo. There's nothing you can do to walk this backwards. You don't get to make a career out of doing this. And then next thing you know, you're going to walk it backwards. The hell you will. Candace Owens, Lucas, this clown, anybody else. Oh, no. When you ride with white supremacy, you ride to the grave. When you get in the white supremacist car, you ride to the grave. You don't ever get to leave. When you make a career out of it. I've seen some misguided idiots out there. You see some young people who are just stupid. Okay. This isn't young, misguided, or stupid. This nigga old as hell. This nigga one of them black Santa Claus niggas with the gray beard. This is not I'm young and naive or stupid or I was raised in the wrong neighborhood. That ain't his issue. This guy go from issue to issue. You know, niggas in the wrong. Y'all need to work harder. You know, Trump is good. It's like, yeah, not for you, dude. It's on site. Anywhere and everywhere we see you, it's on site. Everybody knows your paperwork is dirty as hell. It's on site. He agreeing with y'all, and it's on. It's on. Uncompromising. It's on. So I want you all to be aware that the white supremacists saw an incident here. They saw something that shocked the conscience. They are so traumatized. They are so absolutely traumatized by seeing this. And by the way, you know that Nate was following me because he started reposting stuff from me. So he got hurt when I said that. When I said before about him being a coon. This is why he posted this, because he saw what I posted. Okay. He saw what I posted and went to Fox News. Okay. Folks, everybody knows about me. Everybody knows about me. They know what's going on. They know what it is. They know what it is. And that's cool. They know what it is. They know what's going on. They know I stay on top of it. And they know I'm going to keep doing it. Day in and day out. They don't have to like it. This isn't for you to like. It's not for you to like. It's about me being accurate in what I'm doing. So they can be as mad as they want to be. I'm going to give them a hell of a whole lot more to be mad over. I'm going to make sure they got a lot more to be mad over. Whole lot more to be mad over. These optics have traumatized them. They are traumatized by these optics. They thought that Trump in the White House meant that this would be a new certified Trump in the White House and Ron DeSantis in the governor's mansion, that this would be a new era of white supremacist Nazi violence. That they could finally proceed full speed to the fifth step to Nazi Germany. Open violence in the streets and mass slaughter. And that would just be the norm. And that we would proceed to this dystopian The Purge in real life. Which is their ultimate dream and their ultimate goal. That there will be complete genetic, genocidal slaughter in the middle of the streets. And that finally, civilization will give way to white supremacy. And the white supremacy will finally make the rules, and that white supremacy, they will kick in your door and they will enact the law of white supremacy on you and your family, and nothing will help you and nothing will save you. But when you have optics like this, that ain't how we built, and that the culture of resistance is alive and well and ready when you run up.
And deal with it.
Oh, man. This what happened when you fool around and find out. And you can call the police and any damn body else you want to. Y'all can come pick this dude up. Because I want y'all to understand something here. And yeah, I'm going to go here with it. You see, when something like this occurs, for the white supremacists, this is how you make an example of someone. This is why this traumatizes them, because you see, had this been a black male and a white woman shot him, they would be playing it 24/7, talking about this is what we got to do to stop these niggers, and they're overrunning society. They would have been doing that to say, we're making an example out of you. You see, when they see video like this, a black person can defend themselves, and then they go home and go and order some Uber Eats and some Blue Bell ice cream. Well, as far as they're concerned, you've made an example out of him. Now, that's the chilling effect that gets sent through the white supremacist membrane, is that when you see something like this, Well, she basically just made an example out of him. So to anybody else who's thinking that way and figuring that the white supremacist told me to run, and it's like, yeah, but we're not running. Well, I'm white. You need to run when I show up. And no, you need to back off. I ain't doing it. Then something else is about to happen. I don't believe you. It doesn't matter what you believe now. Your next conversation with your family will be on a Ouija board. No, that's the white supremacists seeing that, and they're like, she's made an example out of him. You see, their lynch mob mentality about Carmelo Anthony was intended to make an example. Well, a couple of weeks later, they feel like she's made an example of somebody. Anybody want to check the scoreboard? Damn! Too soon? Anybody want to check the scoreboard, by the way? Okay. Since that's the game that the white supremacists want to play, they want to talk about clean shoots and scoreboards. They love talking about clean shoots and scoreboards, okay? Okay. If that's the way, if those are the terms you want to use, clean shoots and scoreboards, okay. What's the score right now? Asking for a friend. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the link to the Zoom is in the chat room. All of you are live here, over 5,000 people watching here live. It is what we do. This is the headquarters of the New Black Media, and I am, of course, your anchor man. You've come to me because you wanted the definitive analysis of this. You saw that I was the guy who put rocket boosters on this. I knew what I was doing from day one. I saw what was happening here, and I wanted to make it very, very clear that I was on top of the issue. Sat back and watched it to see how the events unfold. And so far we see how it's going, but keep an eye on it. They're just trying to figure out how they're going to announce to all the white supremacists that there will be no charges filed. They're trying to figure out how they're going to announce that to them because, you know, the white supremacists are going to want to nut all the way up when they see that. Oh boy, they're going to be screaming and yelling, talking about injustice and recalls and this, that, and the other, and where the hell's the damn governor? And they're all going to be speaking in code. And you know we're supposed to do something about them niggers, right? And we can't allow this here. Next thing you know, you're going to hear them all talking about, you know, it's time for us to leave Florida. What? What? Watch for that one next, folks, when they say it's time for us to leave Florida. Yeah, y'all want to talk about getting up and leaving? You can leave. You can run. Get in your cars and you can drive off. But next they're going to be telling you that there's something wrong with Florida and Florida's no good and Florida's bad and you can't count on it and the laws are messed up and there's too many black folk here now. So Florida is lost. Florida has fallen. They're going to be using that talk. Florida has fallen. Florida is lost. The laws are against us. Florida is lost. Florida is fallen. We're all going to fall back to Wyoming. What? We're all going to go to Wyoming and South Dakota. Florida has fallen. Florida is gone. We've lost it to the niggers. Florida is gone. We're all going to move to Nevada. We're all going to move to Wyoming. We're all going to move to Montana now. We're going to Utah. Florida has fallen. Look for them to start saying that. Florida's becoming, you know, Florida's really a blue state at heart, you know. It's really a blue state. It's about to be that. You think I'm joking? I am very serious. Look for them to start using those phrases. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to Karen. Shout out to Karen. Thank you very much for your support here tonight, sister. We appreciate that. To my man, Mr. Richberg, as always. Thank you, brother. To Cyberdyne100. He is in the house. My man, Arthur Akello, Rodney Scott. B1 Media is a lifesaver. Dom DeLeon. Tom Slick. Tom Slick is in here. Ebony Walker, Claude Neely, Logic Before Emotion, and everybody else here. Lovely Star. Been a minute there. They hide out when they get a man. Y'all know how it goes. Me, Shy God, Claude Neely, and everybody else here. Zavon Scott, thank you very much for your support here as well, brothers and sisters from around the world. We are in the house deep. We are in the house thick. The Zoom is wide open. Oh, man. Buck Dancing Barrister is on the line.
Oh, my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Yeah, y'all. Buck Dancing Barrister is on the line. Y'all know that he is in mourning. Buck Dancing Barrister is in mourning right now. You know him. Oh, he saw this happen and he was Steven from Django Unchained. Oh, that nigga got his skinny jeans on and his oversized tennis shoes with his plaid shirt and his Sally Struthers bowl with some foo-foo. Man, oh man. So y'all know he's triggered. He's triggered on behalf of all the coons everywhere. He's triggered on their behalf. He couldn't just let it go. He's in mourning right now. Yeah. This man was a veteran. I can see it now. He was a veteran, law-abiding citizen. So, Buck Dancing Barrister, I'm just giving y'all a fair warning. Buck Dancing Barrister is on the line. So you know foolery will ensue. There's a bunch of y'all, others of you here piling up here as well. We're going to go ahead and get to you as well. Before that, though, we are going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break here. You better not leave because you better not miss it. If you miss it, it's your own damn fault. This is the Black Channel.
The teacher, knowledge on the block. Got the kids learning, minds open like a lock. Books and skills from the east to the west. Bringing education, yeah, we're simply the best. Classes on fire, brains burning with desire. Innovation driving like a tire through the mire. Math, science, history, we got the whole range. Kids hitting new heights, teachers making a change. Used to be the teacher, stacking up the grades. Future bright shining, no need for no shades. Got the youth thriving, moving up the ladder. Smart and sharp, brains growing fatter. Lessons so lit, yeah, they stay in a blaze. Every mind sharp like a sword in the haze. Mr. B in the house breaking knowledge chains. Education kingpin, we repping the games. Used to be the teacher.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am the Black Authority. You are listening live to the haven of intelligent black thought and the new black media. Very glad to have you all with us here this evening as we are discussing Fool Around and Find Out in Florida. Yes, sir. The newest vacation spot. The newest, hottest vacation spot in America where you have the First Amendment protected by the Second Amendment, as they are finding out this week. So we got some folks here on Zoom. Let me find old Buck Dancing Barrister here right quick. Let me find him. Let me get old Buck Dancing Barrister up here. Let me see if he can get off his tap shoes for a moment here. Put that damn dead bat down, Barrister. Put it down and pick up your phone here. You got folk waiting on the line. So, Barrister, go ahead and put that dead hyena down. I know you're sitting over here roasting over a hot spit, but put it down. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to have your camera on, dude, or you're gone. 3 seconds, turn the camera on, or there you go. Boy, this nigga look bummy as hell tonight. What happened to you? If you turn that camera off again, the next time you turn the camera off, you're gone. All right, nigga, just stay. You're not going to go anywhere unless you start trolling. So go ahead and start doing your thing. Okay, Barrister, you were warned. You really want to do that? Okay, you were warned. Oh,
don't put me on camera.
Okay, don't troll.
I'm not going to troll.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
You're looking extra immigranty today. What? What happened, dude? You're looking extra refugee today. I mean, that hairline is slicked off, dude. What happened? Did your hairline get into a fight? Was you with the Mexicans fighting on that roof the other day?
Probably.
What happened? Y'all, this hairline looks like a pack of black fries on top of his head. What? Oh, man. You know, imagine at McDonald's if the French fries were black. It looks like they put some little short black French fries on top of his, pulled the hairline halfway back to the back of his head and just stuck a bunch of black French fries. Brother, what happened? Did your barber get deported?
Nigga, what?
What went wrong, Barrister? I'm worried about you now.
Let's just talk about the case.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll come back to the headline here in just a moment, brother, because it's looking refugee rough. I ain't never seen you down this bad before.
Yeah,
I've never seen this.
It was bad. But it just seems like you're omitting a whole lot of information about the case because
back up, dude.
I'm going to tell you right now, she's going to get charged with murder. Or
okay.
manslaughter.
You're not going to say anything if you're not on camera.
Okay, I'm going to get on camera.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. She's actually going to get charged with murder.
Okay. Well, if was a fifth, we'll see.
Well, no, but I mean, you're omitting the fact that
what part of what she did is not police procedure?
No, but why are you omitting?
Okay, second try. What part of what she did is not police procedure?
Based on the video, she did everything right. However, you're not telling the whole story.
Wow. Okay. What he say? Y'all did everything right, but you upset Massa, so that means you're wrong.
Why aren't you telling your viewers that Bart actually went inside the store? He was in the store for 20 minutes.
It doesn't matter.
She waited for him for 20 minutes.
Okay, he chased her around the parking lot.
Out of the car, confronted him with a gun.
Okay, she chased him around He chased her around the parking lot.
No, it doesn't. But basically, he was at the store for 20 minutes.
Okay, he literally walked. He literally walked. The video begins with him literally walking up to her car. Okay, what about the part of him walking up to her car? How did he get there?
It's all about what happens. You have to look at the entire.
Okay, I'm going to ask this for the last time. What about the part where he walks across 2 parking lanes to get to her car? What about that right there?
As I said, when you look at, based on what you were showing, she did everything right. However,
okay, and he did everything wrong. When he left the store, why did he not just get in his car and leave? He didn't do that. He gets out and walks across lanes to come and confront her. Why did he do that?
I'm not sure, but
that was it.
She was the aggressor, though.
Wait a minute, she was responding. She was responding to that.
She waited for him, man.
Okay, so she waited for him to walk up to her car.
She waited for him to, instigate or.
Okay, so she stayed by her. She stood by her car, stayed where she was by her car. He leaves his car sitting in front of hers, and then he walks up to her, but she was the one instigating it by listen to him, y'all. She was instigating this by standing still by her car. That was instigating it.
Listen, why are you omitting the fact that...
Okay, answer my question or I'm going to move on because now I think you're trolling. So she stood by her car and he comes across a couple of lanes walking up to her. And you're saying that her standing by her car and him walking up to her is her instigating.
At that time, you're trying to just avoid omission.
So her walking up to him walking up to her is in fact her instigating a confrontation.
She instigated the confrontation when she waited and then came out of the car with her gun.
So waiting at your car is in fact instigating an incident.
He went inside the store. He was at the store for.
And what did he do after? And what did he do after he walked
into his vehicle? That's when she came out of her vehicle.
Okay,
he got her gun and confronted him.
Okay, no, you're lying. No, he didn't walk to his vehicle. The video begins with him walking past.
You're showing one part of the video. You're not showing.
He walked past his car to confront her and keep following her around several vehicles. Why didn't he stop walking, and go back to his car?
He was trying to, but it appears that she was going back and forth. You're seeing the exact same
video. Sir, his car is in front of hers. So everything that you see on camera, barrister, everything you see on camera is him. Behind his barrister. You're going to be quiet. Everything that you see on that camera is him behind his own car. Why did he not get in his car? Why did he walk past his car to go harass her and pursue her around several other cars?
Because she had a gun. She confronted him.
Did she have a gun by his car?
I need to watch that video again. But based on the video,
he can walk clean past his car across several lanes, and you're still going to say that her standing by her car, she doesn't have a right for him to not walk up to her.
Jason, why are you omitting the fact that 20 minutes late, 20 minutes, prior.
20 minutes later, he leaves when or if he walked out the store, because there's no proof of what you're saying. What you're saying is a lie. Show me the video. Show me the video. Show me the video where he was in the store. Where's the video where he was in the store?
No, basically,
where's the video of him in the store? You said that several times. Where's the video of him actually going in the store? Where is it?
There's going to be information of that.
Where is your proof that he went in the store?
New information, news.
You do this all the damn time. Cite your source.
I'll cite my source real soon.
Where's your source that says that he went in the store?
I'll cite it, but
cite it right now. Name it right now.
I will. I mean, it's news sources basically, but she's going to get charged with murder.
Okay, this is the last time. Name your news source. Which one? And give me the link.
I think Newsbreak or something.
I think.
Jason, all I'm asking is why don't
build that wall?
And deal with it, nigga.
That's why I had to say that. Build that wall. Y'all, if y'all know why we need a wall, this right here is why we need that wall.
You are omitting you're just like the Carmelo Anthony's case. You're just not revealing.
Why is it that she doesn't have a right for this guy not to walk up to her?
She instigated this.
Okay, second try. Why does she not have a right for this man not to walk up to her?
I don't know. I will admit.
You don't know? You don't know why she has a right to not have somebody walk up to her?
Based on the video you are showing to all of your viewers, yes, it does look like self-defense. But when you look at the entirety, she waited.
The entirety is she has a right to stand in that parking lot by her car. Why does she not also have a right for?
Why didn't she just leave it? She has a right
to be there. That's why she doesn't have to leave.
So Again, so why did she confront him with a gun?
She stood. Well, she did not. You can't confront somebody if you're standing still.
No, as he was leaving the store, she confronted him.
No, she didn't. She's standing by her car. The video shows. I got video that's been the whole time you're talking. I'm showing showing everybody the video right now of her standing by her car the entire time. She did not move. Now he's talking about she doesn't have a right to stand by her car. Build that wall. Buck dancing and bushmeat. Build that wall. Let me contribute a few dollars for a few bricks. Let us build that wall. As a matter of fact, y'all gonna say I'm so damn petty. Buck dancing barrister, I'm so damn glad you called in here. They gonna say I'm super petty. I am Petty Pendergrass. Petty McFly. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Petty Pendergrass. I am going to be so damn petty today. Let me get Buck Dancing Barrister. This one is for you. This one is for you, Buck Dancing. Let me bring up something here. This one is for you. Right here. All right, brothers and sisters. Feast your eyes on some buck dancing cuisine.
Let's make some fufu. Do you know the enslaved Africans named sweet potato a yam because they couldn't find the one that they were accustomed to, which is the rare yam? Now, the purple yam is pretty cool. The only downside to it is that you really have to know what you're doing.
Pay attention, barrister.
Purple one because it itches a lot.
Do y'all see her with that knife?
What we're going to use today to make some pounded yam. The name pounded yam came around because you boil the yam when it's like that and then pound it. So my Nigerian people, since we're not pounded this one, we just put it in the blender. Should we still call it pounded yam?
Okay, I don't know if they had blenders back then, ma'am. But boy, y'all see she got the long knife and everything. So, barrister, she's putting together the recipe. Pay attention.
Should just call it fufu. And the purple ones are a bit more slimier than the white one, which makes them a really good candidate.
By the way, y'all, absorb the tattoos, absorb the fake hair and everything. I ain't dissing and whatnot. She's in good shape. But by the way, hey, barrister, the tattoos, the hair, we're not like you Akatas. Look like she ready to be Akata plus.
To make fufu with. Fufu go on the fire.
Fufu go on the fire? What? Damn! Yeah, y'all. Fufu go on the fire. You damn right. We're taking an intermission here because Buck Dancing Barrister, I'm showing some celebration to his culture here. So y'all got that fufu go on the fire.
Slimier than the white one, which makes them a really good candidate to make fufu with. Fufu go on the fire.
Fufu go on the fire.
Sit for a little bit, they'll come back and fight it. And the fight begins. This is when the gym results start coming through.
Y'all, do y'all see them arms on her? Okay. Y'all see them arms. Fool around and find out.
We're using 2 fish for this dish. No.
Now we adding fish? I don't know. Is she just freestyling? What she say? Okay, I got this available. Now she's talking about let's throw the fish in there. All right, it's her recipe.
This having been doing African dishes for the past few months.
Okay, there's gonna be a white man gonna be sitting there cheesing here in a little bit. There's gonna be a white man cheesing. Y'all know this is coming.
We're using 2 fish for this dish. Notice having been doing African dishes for the past few months. That's because I usually use spring to do my cutting for summer. I don't use my African food to cut weight, not because they're not good, because I'm really addicted to African food. I don't eat small and stop. Last year summer, a lot of you say you guys tried African food for the first time because of my cooking video. And I like that for you. This summer, let's see if we can make...
I don't think it's your cooking that folks are tuning in for, ma'am. You may be delusional. I can see why they might be tuning in. I don't think the cooking is the reason. I don't think you think it's the reason either, because I've seen your Instagram. So you tune in for my cooking. Yeah, baby. Yeah, find a new lie. That's not the reason. That is not the reason. All right, let me go ahead and jump over here. Let me see if I can get Tamala up on here. We celebrating barristers' culture is what we're doing, y'all. We're showing some homage to barristers' culture. All right, we got Tamala here on Zoom. Tamala, what's on your mind?
I can't hear you.
We can hear you. Oh, Lord, y'all. Tamala is not ready for prime time here. I'm going to give her a moment here. She's looking like Auntie, trying to figure out how this newfangled technology works. Auntie, are you sure we can't get it? Auntie, the program was rolling good, and then you called in here. I was on a roll, baby. So, okay, let me put you back on. Let me find a daughter or a niece to come help you with the phone, ma'am. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, let me go and jump back over here on Zoom again. Let's see if I can get Kid Gravity up here. Kid Gravity, there's a name we hadn't seen in a minute. Hadn't seen Kid Gravity in a minute. He been hiding from us. What'd he say? Sometimes they like me, but other times they get mad at me and then they disappear and whatnot. And then something happens and then they're like, damn, I hate this nigga Jason, but he still got a microphone. So let me check back in with him. All right, Kid Gravity, what's on your mind?
Hey, that's...
I know niggas got a love-hate relationship with me. I know. Just ask all my girlfriends. I'm not mad at nobody. My girlfriend's my first grade teacher. What? So just the world has a love-hate relationship. Y'all have to take me in doses. That's why I'm only on 2 days a week. I couldn't do 5 days a week. Y'all would jump out of a window. The world needs me in doses. You can't just mainline me. I'm too offensive. All right, what's on your mind?
Nah, it's just me working on Saturday and Sunday night, so it's hard to absorb your broadcast and try to focus at work. But it's just funny that it's been almost a week now. They still haven't brought up the fact that he has a criminal record. I'm still waiting. Maybe they'll do it on Monday. You know, everybody was worried about the fireworks on Saturday.
Now, I wanted to talk to you about that. By the way, for those of you who are on Twitter and whatnot, let me jump back over there right quick because it was your page that I shared it from. And I'm really big about that kind of thing right there. It's your page I shared it from. Now, you do understand there are some folks who, I will say this, so far, I haven't seen anybody who's been able to debunk what you posted. So that's kind of been important to me. My real thing, though, is that I had some folk, doing the white supremacist thing. Well, how do you know that's him? And, folk do that kind of thing. So have you been worried about that?
No, because I got that too. But here's the thing. I just looked it up because you know how every time something happens to us, they want to go crawl back 40 years from when we did a little hell raising as teenagers. So I said, okay, let me do it on them. And when I first did it, nothing really came up. He had like some bankruptcies and some civil cases. But I said, you know what, let me just do all 50 states. And then the stuff in Georgia came up and I was like, oh, there we go. So he has a history of stalking women and almost attacking women and attacking family members. So I said, let me just put that up, start that type of conversation. And
well, I agree. Like I said, that's the real thing I want right there is let's start the conversation. If folks have a problem with what you posted, then by all means, they need to debunk it. They can go ahead and do that. Go ahead and prove to us that that's not him.
Yeah, only one person was like, well, I haven't found anything in like Jersey and stuff. I was like, well, if it's civil, it doesn't matter. This is criminal. Something completely different.
Yeah, it's amazing how that goes out the window. It's amazing how by the way, the same thing for Jeff Metcalf.
True.
The same thing for him. I mean, Megyn Kelly and the rest of them, all of a sudden, they don't give a damn about that. Matt Walsh and other folk, they love taking a look through your family. And it's like, okay, hey, what about Jeff Metcalf over? Oh, don't worry about that. Really? Okay, so look, you're up against white supremacy. And the real thing is to show that they are nakedly hypocritical, that they're nakedly contradictory, because you can't convict somebody of a crime they didn't commit. So if we don't get them to show these lies and fallacies and contradictions, then we can't convict them. When they go off and go do it so nakedly, it just throws in our lap, man. It throws in our lap. It's ammunition. And now they're fighting their defense of George Zimmerman. Everything they said to defend George Zimmerman, Darren Wilson, Chud the Builder, you name it. Now they're sitting up here trying to figure out how do you thread that needle. And it's not working. It's not working. And with this guy here, I'm thinking... I just think that just off the rip, seeing the way that went down, there's no way that's his first time doing this. There's no way that he's just, what they say in God of War, just a calm, reasonable person. There's no way that that's him. Calm and reasonable men don't go in Walmart parking lots doing that. They don't do that. They don't sit up here and chase some stranger with a gun. She's already got a gun, and he's trying to see if he can get close enough to sit up here and yank it. Obviously, keep attacking her. Calm and reasonable, civil, docile men don't do that. He's not even the kind of Karen be in his car calling on the phone for the police. He didn't even do that. He is so over the edge that he's like, I'm going to get my hands on her. So it's like, yeah, there's no way this is your first time doing this. No chance. None.
It's like, I think they wanted her to shoot him through the window.
No.
But even then, that would have been a problem.
No, they didn't want her to do anything at all. They wanted her to stand there and get assaulted. That was what their arguments they made. There was no argument that they made that included her defending herself, is my point. Everything that they named excluded defending herself out of hand. They didn't say a single method or way that she could stop him. She needs to get in her car. He's blocking her car. She needs to run in the store. What if he outruns her? She needs to drive away. If she sits in her car while he's got her blocked in, where does she run to if he comes back with a gun now? Right. Now, where does she go? She's a sitting duck in the car. So their whole thing is, we're going to give you explanations that make it where we make sure you can't harm him. That's all we're concerned about. Making sure you can't harm him. That's the only options they're giving you, even if it leaves you completely defenseless. So just understand that that's the only option they were talking about. Just don't defend yourself. And they're mad at us because we're not having that conversation.
And then what's with this thing with them trying to split the Florida statute?
I'm white and I say so.
Right. And I saw somebody bring up Michael Drecker's case, and I was like, that's not the same thing.
Not at all. Michael Drecker was in that store harassing people. First of all, he had the history of doing that. They never want to mention that. He had a history of doing that. He was in the store. He was already harassing them and assaulting those people inside the store. That was when it went outside with him continuing his harassment and assault on them. So that was what happened there. Michael Drecker got knocked on the ground and then produces a gun. This is not a situation of he was being attacked. He got knocked on the ground and then produces a gun. The moment he produces the gun, he starts shooting. So none of these circumstances are the same as hers, even if you wanted to try to claim that she's unjustified. She didn't do the same thing that Michael Drecker did. Michael Drecker drew a gun and immediately started shooting. This woman drew a gun and started retreating. The fella, when Michael Drecker pulled the gun, the guy stepped backwards. The video clearly shows that too. Michael Drecker opened fire on him, stepping backwards. This woman opened fire with a guy stepping forward. So even when you show them the video, then they just say, well, she still shouldn't have fired. She still shouldn't have shot him. So the only thing you're leaving is that he should be allowed to grab her and assault her, and you should just hope that the assault isn't too terrible and that you survive it.
We need that autopsy. I think he was drunk or he was on something. But
okay. Well, I mean, that matters only to an extent, because with black folk, when they try to justify injustice, they say, oh, well, he was drunk, he was high, he was on fentanyl. So in this case, it doesn't work for you. It wouldn't be the same argument. They wouldn't care what he's on. They would just say, well, that doesn't matter. It still doesn't justify what she did. So everything is about her. No matter what he's doing, they're putting the obligation on her that he escape unharmed. He can chase you around the parking lot. He can beat on your car. He can grab you. He can do whatever he wants to. It's your obligation not to harm him, regardless of the circumstances. So he could be sitting right there in the parking lot doing meth as we speak. They would still say, well, he's a poor meth head. Why is she? He's just a poor drunk. Why has she got to shoot the poor drunk? He ran up on her and was waiting and stalking. Still, so that's what you're getting into at that point. So sure, we can get a toxicology report. The problem for him and his family is now you're going to get one. The problem for him and his family, brother, is that, yeah, now we can get a toxicology report on you. If you had gotten in your car and took yourself home, we wouldn't be able to do this. So I don't know what you had in you besides when she started shooting. So I guess we're about to find out, but wouldn't have been nice if you just go ahead and take yourself home. The only thing that would have been in you was some frustration.
Yeah, he had a whole daughter he was trying to get back with, and he threw his life away before even reconciling. Well, hey,
all I'm saying, brother, is I'm pretty sure that they don't want to do a family story. I haven't seen it like that either. Let's talk to the family. Let's talk to the friends. What kind of guy was he? Was he Mr. Nice, good neighbor or whatnot? Or does he have a beef with a bunch of people and a bunch of run-ins and a bunch of incidents? Do you have that? This is the only horse they got right now, and they chose the wrong one. They chose the wrong one. This is a bum steer. They chose the wrong one.
Yeah. Well, let them figure it out.
No, they already figured it out.
The sister. No, I applaud the sister, and I hope her family's getting her the therapy that she's probably going to need, because that's traumatic any way you slice it. So
yeah, I mean, she's just going to Walmart and whatnot, and these white supremacists will not let you sit up here and get some groceries without them trying to enact white supremacy. And don't get me wrong, I've been there. I've been to Florida. Folks drive ridiculous. I mean, it's one of the worst places I have ever seen. It's one of the closer you get to Miami, the worse it gets. So the closer to Georgia you are, the more civilized it is.
Correct.
When you get down to Orlando, Interstate 4, Interstate I-4, I-E, Die-4. What? It's
the Florida's Turnpike.
Dude, I-4 is worse. And now they've redone it. They've kind of finished redoing it. And it's awful. Interstate 95 south of Orlando is just, nigga, it's do or die. I'm not taking nothing smaller than my Escalade. You need a tank driving down there with all these Dodge Chargers and Nissans zipping and zooming and cutting through traffic. Everybody's doing 90 miles an hour at least. If you're doing 70, everybody's honking at you because everybody's doing 90 and 95. I'm not joking. Anyone who's been heading down to Miami knows. By the time you get to Hollywood, and anything south of there, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, man, it's every man for himself when you go there. So they drive insane. You get off on the streets, it's just as bad. So at the Walmart parking lots, it's Karens, coons, and clowns. I get it. But the bottom line is I've done it at least a dozen times. I ain't had to have a shootout there just yet. It's not a parking space I'm willing to get into a fight over. It's stupid things happening. And even if I were, I'm not going to sit up here and do it in the middle of no damn parking lot. And I'm damn sure not running up on nobody got a gun already. All I'm just saying, you have a death wish at that point. At that point, you just have a death wish. That's what that is. There's no way that you just run up. There's nobody you run up on and think is cool and they got a gun pointed at you. Unless you think that you're going to disarm them. And at that point, you can't do that without assaulting them. You can't do that. I think what happened was his pride got in the way. He was so indignant, he just didn't give a damn anymore. And he's going to show her who's boss no matter what. I'm going to show this niggers who's boss. And these comments in these comment sections reinforce that. He's boss, and we need to put these niggers in their place. And he decided to be a martyr. And it's like, dude, you got a family. Yeah, but what good is that if I ain't boss? And that parking space is territory. You want to get deep with it, brother? Oh, what'd he say? Oh, he's looking right now. Now he gets it. That's territory, brother. That's turf. Why they want to fight you over a parking lot? That's turf. That's dominance. If I can keep you from getting that parking space, I've established dominance. I've decided what you can have and what you can't have. Well, she decided to take her piece of it, and she's established dominance. Oh, hell no, we ain't going to have that. He couldn't concentrate on his damn groceries after that. He cannot concentrate on his groceries because he feels like he lost turf. What y'all say? Gangs fighting over streets they don't own. And he's fighting over a parking space he doesn't own. Walmart owns the parking space. And he's going to try to act like that's his turf. So, yeah.
Yeah, she made him forget the mayonnaise. That's crazy.
Dude. And the gluten-free ice cream and the potato salad. And
And he had to get that America 250 shirt that was on clearance.
Yeah, man. Whatever else is going on over there, it's just the Michelob Light. So it's like I say, folks. Hey, summertime, and he missed the 4th of July and all that. So, bottom line, boys and girls, is white supremacists. Because y'all made it racial, we didn't make it a racial issue. But since you all decided to do that, by the way, hey fellas, just go to the store and carry your ass in and get your groceries and go home.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
How about that? Instead of you thinking you gonna try to play some dominance, I got a better idea. Take your ass back to your car and go home. How about that one? And go home and sleep it off. I'll let you have the last word.
Well, all I want to say is appreciate what you do for all of us, and stay safe out there, because it's going to get crazier before it gets better.
Keep your candy bars. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. You stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready here. Oh, look at this from the Atlanta Black Star. A Florida family is speaking out after a woman's attorney described a deadly Walmart parking lot shooting as a clean kill, a remark that has sparked fresh outrage. Clean kill, but the white supremacist has been saying clean shoot every time a black person gets hurt. Clean shoot, clean shoot, clean shoot. Okay, well then, since you have endorsed and codified the concept of a clean shoot, all right, well, it's a clean shoot. Outrage! Why was it not outraged before? Because you're black. Okay, well. All right, there you go. There you go. White supremacists love taking both sides of the argument. Too bad it's not helping you. All right, we got Gene here on Zoom. Gene, unmute yourself.
How you doing, brother?
I was on your mind.
For those who don't know and those who may know, anytime you go to obtain your CCW, your guard card, your SPO license, or your delegation of authority order, you're constantly met with the use of force. And within the use of force, it outlines a few things that makes it where you should discharge a weapon. And that's weight, that's gender, and that's also age. Okay? So the fact that he decided to approach a strange woman in an aggressive manner like that and chase her, law states she had every right not just to brandish, quote unquote, her weapon, but also discharge the weapon. In addition, for all you GMO bastards and anybody else who's questioning, she used equal force under the law. Also, if that's the way he approached a strange woman with a weapon that he's seen, then no one have to wonder why he didn't have a relationship with his daughter, because it probably was even worse than that. Now I'll land my plane, brother.
Very well stated, very well articulated. Can't add nothing to it, can't take nothing from it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Can't add nothing to it, can't take nothing from it. Let's try Tamala here one more time. We'll try Tamala one more time and see if Auntie got somebody to help get that straightened out. If she hasn't, I'll have to let her go. We'll have to see how that goes. So, Tamala, I'll give you 5 seconds here, ma'am. You've been approved. You're on center stage. All right, Tamala, have you got that worked out?
I think so.
There you go.
From my tablet.
All right, Tamala, what's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, Jason? I really just wanted to say, it just seems like the more we decide that we're going to be uncompromising and that, we're just not tolerating this nonsense from them. White people, regular white people know that, they're afraid of these white supremacists too. And so I just think that they see how we're coming together and just making a decision to do what we do. And just
you are the deterrent. The police are not the deterrent. Police are a follow-up agency. The law is not the deterrent. The law is a follow-up agency and is actually hostile and adversarial to you. You are the first and last line of defense. You are the deterrent. You are. And when you take that seriously, then the situation like this is how you handle it. That you realize, there's not somebody coming to help me against this barbarian. There's not somebody coming to help me. And this is what all these, Second Amendment folk who claim to be teaching about guns and whatnot for decades have been saying, is that even under the best of circumstances, the average response time of the average police department is 5 minutes. What that means is that for the next 5 minutes, it's just you and the bad guy. Well, for those 2 minutes, it was just her and the bad guy.
Exactly.
And you don't see any of the people who would, if I were doing that to Megyn Kelly in that parking lot. What? If that had been Megyn Kelly and you saw me walk past my damn truck to go, quote, confront her, and all I'm doing is yelling at her and walking up on her while she has a gun, would any of those people have said that was anything other than the case of me effing around and finding out? Would they have said anything other than that?
Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying also, too, that the only people that has an issue with this are white supremacists. However, the reason why you have the buck dancing Tatum and the attorney and everything just co-signing on what this lady did is because white people know that these people, Chud the Builders and all these, they're a menace to their society too. And so now they're looking at us and how we are combating against these people. And that's why they're kind of like what happened last week with Jason Lang at the BET Awards, where the cops is like, we not fooling with you or whatever, because they know, they see that this is becoming more and more dangerous, not just for us, but for their community too.
Well, I mean, the white supremacist foot soldiers and whatnot, they're part of the plan. So their presence is to get out there and agitate and to try to instigate incidents. Their greatest fear is that we will take it in our hands to make sure that you do not succeed in assaulting us. And the greatest fear that they have is that we will take care of the matter ourselves, as opposed to getting cowering down.
White supremacists fear that, but the larger white society, they're starting to realize, like I said, they don't want these people in there. They're a menace to them too.
You're seeing something that the rest of us aren't seeing then. If that's what you're seeing, I don't know there. I don't think I don't see evidence of that. Not widespread. So you're seeing something we're not seeing. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Speaking of the white supremacists, I'm glad she said that, because speaking of the white supremacists and what they see and what they don't. Hey, y'all, these folks is running around. These folks are running around out here and whatnot. And just to show you that these Patriot Front people, these folks are out here and whatnot, and the white supremacists don't know what to do. The Patriot Front is running around out there, and I want to show y'all something. They're on video, they're messing around, they're doing things, and these folk are going for full-fledged, I'm white and I say so. If you'll turn your eyes to your screens here, they're going full-fledged, I'm white and I say so, and saying this ain't real. What? Here's Laura Ingraham. I call fake. Look more like Antifa in costume. No one should be allowed to cover their faces. They shouldn't be allowed to? Okay, I'm fully in favor of that, Laura. Starting with yo folks. This guy's face isn't covered, by the way, so Laura, you sound as crazy and drunk as hell. Get back in your bottle of Hennessy. So in any case, yeah, boy, they didn't like that. Al Jazeera jumping out there and whatnot. Hundreds of masked white nationalists marched on white Washington, D.C., waving Confederate flags and chanting anti-immigrant slogans. Does this look fake? These look like real people to me. This is not AI. This is not AI. Washington Post. Hundreds of uniformed members of what appeared to be Patriot Front. So Jeff Bezos is in it. A white supremacist group marched through DC. Everything appears to be, and we're not sure if it is. With them talking about they don't know. They're not sure. I mean, it might be them. Then again, it might not be. So we're not sure if it's them or not. I mean, it could be, but it may be, but we don't know. Then you have Mike Lee. You have Mike Lee doing the same thing. He's trying to act like they don't know if these are real people. I don't believe these. I think this was Antifa. No proof, no anything. No proof, no anything. Just claiming that. So they were taking so many damn losses. They were taking so many damn L's. They're just resorting to pathetic extents of I'm white and I say so. It's video all over the damn place. And, well, I mean, when you call that proof, huh? I don't really think that's proof right there when you think about it. I mean, I see that, but that doesn't mean that. And, oh, folks, it gets worse than that. It gets worse than that. Everyone's famous failed actor, Kevin Soyboy. Does anybody actually believe that these are real people? So this is the message of the day. Does anybody believe that these are real people? Now that's what he says, but hey folks, if you go down through his comments, failing to see why Patriot Front wearing masks is problematic. What? Charlie Kirk was assassinated for having mainstream conservative opinions. The same people who celebrated his murder are now upset at people who want to protect their identity? Wait a minute. Kevin, is this you? Will the real Kevin Sorbo please stand up or please sit your ass down?
Sit your ass down.
So, taking both sides of the argument, he's arguing literally against himself in real time. Then somebody posted this: "Dear feds, at least change the uniform. Your president is in the White House." Folks, their president, white supremacist MAGA moron, these are your feds. Dear feds, at least change but they're your feds now. He's already purged the military and the FBI. They're your feds. So what'd they say? We'll just make it up. We'll just make it up as we go along. Folks, I would be remiss if I didn't show you all one more thing, because we said for you all to be careful out here. We said for y'all to be careful out here, man, and I'm telling y'all to be careful. I am telling y'all to be careful out here, especially this week. I don't know what they're putting in the water out here. I don't know what's going on, but I need y'all to understand. Be careful out here. She said, I'm hungry. So I need y'all to understand. They fighting dirty. I mean, it's on camera. She said, I need a drumstick. So, baby, if Gilbert Grape don't eat you first, you'll press charges. But yeah, dude, she's okay. Y'all be careful out there, man. Be careful. It's a lot going on. So I know y'all, the Mexicans fighting on the rooftop video was one thing, but yeah, just okay. Okay, you want a leg or a wing? Okay, so I'm just reporting the news. I'm letting y'all know, be careful out there. At the parking lot, on the block, it ain't safe, man. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get Smucky up here on Zoom for me here right quick. Let me see if I can get Smucky up here on Zoom. With a name like Smucky, it has to be good. All right, Smucky, what's on your mind?
What's going on, brother Jason? How you doing, man? Great broadcast tonight, brother. I have to agree with you, brother. I believe that guy's feeling had gotten hurt, and he wanted to show her that he was the boss, and she was just another black woman who needed to get killed. But
we've all had that happen, though, brother. We've all had that happen in the parking lot. Any of us who've been to Walmart, we've all had that happen in the parking lot. That's the one.
Exactly.
He's not the first one.
Exactly, brother. And this is a good example for FBA women who are thinking about learning and practicing their rights. This young, intelligent, beautiful sister did everything right, did every single thing right in her power. She was on point with everything. She had her weapon concealed at first. She only showed it when she felt threatened, pulled, then pointed at her aggressor before the scene became uncontrollable, unpredictable, and volatile. This FBA sister constantly gave verbal stop commands over and over again. She did an outstanding job of being defensive, knowing her rights, having steadiness, being steadfast, being able to breathe under high, intense pressure, being able to use someone else's aggression to her advantage. She used verbal judo, verbal counters, verbal awareness, and calmness. That was all used in this here situation that she was in. And what I really loved about this is that this sister did not say, I feel sorry for him. She didn't say anything religious. She did exactly what the situation called for, and that was for defense.
The police showed up and told her put her hands behind the back, and she did exactly what Neely Fuller said, you behind enemy lines. She didn't fight with them. She didn't argue. She didn't scream or yell or show out. She did exactly everything that we've been talking about for 20 years. She did a textbook example of how to handle that.
Yes, sir, she sure did. And she punished anyone who could potentially harm her with bodily damage or even do worse, kill her. The guy didn't like the fact that this woman knew her rights. She was standing up for what was right, and she was not afraid to speak her mind on a professional level. While this guy was in outrage with the constant moving, swinging of his arms, the constant yelling, the way how he always had his head down, talking and not even giving the sister any type of eye contact, constantly following her and circling her around multiple vehicles, all showed signs of aggression, and that he was becoming very, very aggressive. Anything could have happened. A rational man who has the capacity to think clearly will make a sensible decision on or behave in a logical manner rather than acting or on emotion or impulse. Once he saw that the gun was shown and the verbal commands was given. Racist YT people feel as if FBAs don't have the right to feel safe and not feel as if they cannot breathe the same air as everyone else. I don't know which one is the best, the Alabama brawl on the water or this scene that just happened a couple of days ago. People have to realize it's July, it's almost August, and the ancestors out here showing us how this here still goes. Now, on a very, very serious note, FBA family, watch yourselves. Warn everyone who you know, because these racist white tea people will be looking for a potential vulnerable FBA. FBA family, especially the sisters, please learn your laws to your state, study them and teach them to the little ones. Remember, you ladies were the first teachers ever to teach the world everything that what we know now. It's in your DNA. It can be done, and trust me, it will be appreciated. Remember, they changed the laws when the Black Panthers found a loophole to carry guns. Also, read about the Deacons of Defense who were able to utilize armed self-defense for equal FBA rights in my home state, Louisiana. And lastly, when Barrister said that she is going to be charged, okay, maybe, but the video clearly shows her not being the aggressor. I strongly believe that all her charges will be dismissed. And
she hasn't been charged with anything. So
right, exactly.
I mentioned about her. The police showed up. They detained her. If she was white, they wouldn't even did that. But they detained her. But you know, my thing is, you have what Tom Gresham, who talks about guns here in Louisiana. Well, he said you have problem number one and problem number two. Problem number one is that parking lot, this man who's threatening you. That's problem number one. The police and the system is problem number two. Yep. So you have an obligation to take care of problem number one. After you take care of problem number one, then we'll go deal with problem number two. If you don't take care of problem number one, you might not be here to actually have to even address problem number two.
That's true.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. So it's like, yeah, this idea that everybody's supposed to scare you and, worry about what happens. If you don't deal with the issue right in front of you, you might not be alive to see problem number two. These folk out here killing these women all over the place. You might not be alive to see problem number two. So, let's deal with problem number one. Let's deal with problem number one. And she did. And she did. Okay, I got Alistair and a few other folk here on the line here. Let me go ahead and I'll get to you here right here in just a moment. Let me see if I can get Drew up here on Zoom right quick. Drew, I don't see you on camera here. You're not paying attention. I'll give you 5 seconds, then I got to move on. All right, Drew, I don't see or hear you here on Zoom here. I'll give you 3 more seconds, and then I got to move on. Drew, I don't see or hear you here on Zoom here. I'll give you 1 more second, and then I got to move on. All right, y'all. Drew, we caught you slipping. We're doing the whole program tonight about not getting caught slipping like that, and folks are still not paying attention. Let's jump over here on Zoom and see if we can get Alistair up here on Zoom for me here. All right, Alistair, unmute yourself. What's going on?
What's going on, Brother Jason? How you doing? First of all, I want to salute this sister for doing what was the right thing to do. She protected herself at all costs, because if she had not had a weapon that day, this man could have seriously injured her, maybe put her in the hospital in a coma. And these white supremacists would have defended this man, saying that, oh, that lady was being wild, aggressive, and everything else. That's what have happened and everything else. Instead, they're crying, moaning, because the sister did what she had to do. She used her Second Amendment rights, and she used the stand your ground laws in Florida. She gave that man a chance to live. She was basically, the guy chased her around and everything else in the parking lot, and she still had a gun and was on the phone telling her to back off. And instead, he wouldn't back off. She shot her and everything else. She actually, if I'm not mistaken, called the police or contacted the police. And
brother, look, she did all the things that these people have spent the last decade and a half claiming that black folk don't do that justifies the police shooting you. He did everything that they said you ain't supposed to do and that they said justifies shooting us. All you had to do was change the races, and these folks showed you all of a sudden it doesn't. The whole point is defend harming the black person. Whatever end of the issue you're on, they take the side of harming you, no matter what it is.
Basically, what they're saying is, we want you to become like John Lewis. Take your ass whooping and everything else, get your skull cracked up on the concrete and everything else.
And
that's
hope
what they want.
The best you can do is hope that you survive the encounter. But you have no right to defend you have no right to defend yourself, and no white person is obligated to not harm you up to or including the point of death. The only thing you have a right to is to just hope that you survive it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And, to that coon who called over there, Mr. Bushmeat Barrister and everything else, that's the type of mentality that some of these non-Black Americans bring. They bring that type of submissive, self-hatred behavior and everything else here in America and everything else, and trying to affect us and everything else with that crap.
And that's why I play him. He's the comic relief. I play him for the comic relief because, like I say, it does show you, hey, the coons are alive and well. The stuff that we say is not stereotypes. We're not exaggerating. We have real world examples that constantly contact us. So it's not like it's something we're making up or fabricating. This is what we're really up against. And it just reminds you there are rooms that them folks are in that we're not in. This is a room that we're actually in. How much of this is happening with those kind of people on the city council? Those kind of people on your judicial review boards, those kind of folk are in your police departments. They believe in buck dancing and cheesing at the police department. So we hear them here, but what are they saying in other places that we don't have access to? So it's very important that we get them to show how committed that they are to that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, brother. We appreciate that. Let me see if I can get Brother Elijah up here on Zoom for me here right quick. All right, we got Brother Elijah up here on Zoom. Brother, what's on your mind?
Hey, big brother, B1 to you and the family. Hey, brother, before I say what I need to say and
give the Reader's Digest, brother. I got other folk on the line.
Hey, brother, look, I'm gonna be quick. Look, thank you for taking my call, but I wanted to say when you had that nasty stink bastard, you call him Buck Dancing Barrister and everything like that. Look, I think this man got sexuality issues and everything like that, and it's time to upgrade his name to Butt Cheeks Barrister, because you're not gonna coon like that. An innocent black woman was protecting herself and everything like that, and that white supremacist kept stepping up to her, and this man is gonna come and lie to you and say, oh, they're gonna charge her with murder, and everybody, even the white supremacist said, hey, this woman, she defended herself. This was an act of self-defense and everything like that. That man is a no-good stink bastard. He's an anti-black American racist.
Well, I wanted to show a few things there in particular. Like I say, I don't want you all going round and round with these folks necessarily. I do want you to understand what it is, because it is important that we articulate these things, because Brother Neely Fuller did it so exhaustively, which was what his life's work was about. You're getting into a lot of details, but you have to do it exhaustively, because otherwise you come out confused. Remember, you got coons like Nate the Lawyer, and these other buck dancing Brandon Tatum. They got whole YouTube channels where YouTube is boosting them. And if you want to know what that is, that frequency of it is so that you got new people coming all the time. Their job is to confuse you and tell you, well, this incident is different. I mean, you can believe whatever you want to, but this ain't really self-defense, because, and they keep flooding it to you. Next thing you know, bit by bit, you'll gradually start getting confused. So it's important that we do have these kind of conversations so that you can hear somebody debunk all of those things. In my case, it's to really figure out, how do I give you all a question or a statement that is so compact and so concise that it will simultaneously defend you and debunk them and expose what they're doing. The statement I'm giving you all is very, very simple. Show me what she did that a police officer would not do. Yes. Now, for any of you, you don't even have to know my arguments. You don't have to know the law. You don't even have to go any further than that. Any of you wondering if somebody tries to dispute you, or what, all you have to say is, tell me what she did that a police officer would not do. Yes, she followed all police procedure. Show me what she did that a police officer is not trained to do before he shoots.
Right.
And that right there sums it all up. So it doesn't matter where you go. Hopefully, if you have access to us, and we've had thousands of people watching here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Very good to see that on the holiday weekend. Thousands of people watching here tonight, so that you are properly armed with the right intellectual firepower. What did she do that a police officer would not do? And when Buck Dancing Barrister was confronted with that, once again, first of all, I'd already debunked it. He's like, well, yeah, she's self-defense. Okay, I'm still shutting you down. What did she do that a police officer would not do?
Right.
All right, there you go. Now you're just really arguing, I hope she gets arrested or something. That's the only thing you can argue now is, I know she was defending herself, but I hope she gets charged anyway. All right, well, say that. Say that instead, so that we can get to your real argument. I hope she gets charged because we don't want folks seeing y'all defending yourselves. Say that.
Right. Hey, brother, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to land my plane. Look, this, remember what I said to you last week? I meant what I said. July 4th is canceled. I can't see myself celebrating a holiday like this. This I call it the devil's holiday, all right, with these devil white American supremacists. All right, because what July 4th means to them and what it means to us is two different things. And how could I celebrate a day like that? And we still got issues like this happening, and these bastards didn't even still pay us our reparations. What is there to celebrate? You know, understand that? And this is why I said July 4th was canceled.
I mean, celebrating independence. Whose independence? We were in chains.
Right. Right.
Frederick Douglass told you that. I didn't invent that. Independence. Whose independence? We were in chains. We were and still considered 3/5 of a person.
Yes,
so
sir.
Whose independence are you asking me to celebrate? I'm not denying you can have the day. Sure, you can have the day. Well, you're looking for me to get up and dance. Whose independence am I dancing for exactly?
Right.
Whose independence am I celebrating? Answer that one for me, and then I'll see if I can light a firecracker for you.
Exactly. Hey, be one to you and the family. All right. Thank you so much for taking my call. All right.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. I'm like, look, I'm not disputing the dominant society for wanting to celebrate July 4th. I'm like, okay, I can understand you. You're looking at me like I'm the odd man out, and I'm just asking you, well, whose independence am I celebrating exactly? Just answer that one for me. Whose liberty and independence am I celebrating? Or are you saying that you want me to celebrate your freedom and independence? So I'm asking a question, and if you can go ahead and answer that for me, then you can stop sitting up here looking at me all stupid. But until then, don't look at me stupid, and then I ask you that question and you can't answer it. Let's go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. Let's see if we can get James up here on Zoom for me here. Let me see if we can get James up here on Zoom for me here. James, I'll give you a few moments to go ahead and get on here, folks. We got to keep it moving. Don't want to be slowing the program down. James, I can give you 5 seconds to go ahead and get up here on the line, brother, and then I'm going to have to go ahead and move on. James, I can give you 3 seconds to get on the line over here, brother, and then I got to go ahead and move on. James, I can give you 1 more second to get on the line here, brother, and then we got to move on. All right, y'all, James must have been abducted. James must have been abducted. Y'all, I got so many other things to show you all here tonight. I'm not going to have the ability to have time to do it. I don't have the ability to have time to do it. I got so many other things I was supposed to show you all tonight. There was just so much that was going on. I got folks biting legs. I got folks biting legs over here. I got folks nutting up and acting a fool. Maybe I'll get a chance to come back to this. Maybe I'll get a chance to come back to this. I do want to just lightly touch on it tonight. You know what? Maybe let me not do that. Let me not do that because we're branching off into other things. We're branching off into other things here, so let me go ahead and do that. Shout out to MJ Africa Love for the fufu recipe. What? Yeah, no disrespect. All right, y'all, man. Y'all can go check out her YouTube channel. Go ahead and get your fufu peanut butter soup with fish and seasonings. So, by the way, and then she says she don't even eat it. What? Damn. One more thing. Then she says she don't even really eat it. I'm like, okay, well, fufu, peanut butter, and fish. I'm like, okay, well, I think I found the issue. But shout out to her. We're just showing some homage to the fine Nigerian cuisine. So y'all go ahead and eat up. You can see milk does a body good for fufu does a body good for her. Okay, she's not eating it, but anyway, whatever she's doing. Boy, we went from Keith Lee and Cooking with Kaya. We went from Cooking with Kaya to this. Boy, maybe we can get Cooking with Kaya back. I'm taking a look at what's happening over here since she left. I'm like, okay, maybe we can get Cooking with Kaya back because we're on lean days right now. Brothers and sisters from around the world, I want you to understand, keep your eyes and your ears open. Everywhere you go, make sure you are prepared. We did not ask for this fight, but you need to be ready for when the fight comes looking for you. Do not listen to these people tell you what the rules of engagement are. You need to be calm and level-headed. You cannot be emotional and erratic. You can't be falling to pieces. If she had opened fire the first second that he walked up, they'd be trying to charge her right now. So yes, she was under no obligation to keep walking around the parking lot. However, she made it undeniable. You need to be prepared and understand, and do not let other people pressure you or intimidate you into adopting false rules of engagement. She did everything that she was supposed to do. And furthermore, let me also add, if under different circumstances, the instant that she thought that he might have his hands on the weapon, she needed to open fire right then. So to any of you who might be caught in a similar situation where the guy doesn't walk around the parking lot, he walks back to his vehicle. If he walks back to his vehicle and gets a weapon, you don't sit there and have a standoff arguing with him. The second that you believe he has a weapon, you open fire on him and neutralize the threat. Now that's a different level to it right there that this actually doesn't cover. Another incident may happen far quicker with somebody getting their hands on a weapon with folk telling you to sit there and argue with them. No, you do not. Under these circumstances, she handled this exemplary. Under different circumstances, you have to respond differently. But always, always, always be prepared to protect yourself. That is not a right that is given to you by the Constitution, the state of Florida, or any man. Your right to live wasn't given to you by a man, and it's not something that they write the rules into law for you to survive. Your survival is not up for a vote or up for legislation. So always, always, always be prepared to defend yourself. Do not be erratic, but always be prepared. Always and every time. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome. Welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. Make sure you bookmark this channel if you got a browser. Of course you have a browser. Make sure you bookmark us. Make sure you subscribe. At least you'll see the subscription over there on the side of your browser or in your YouTube app, at least to remind you, hopefully, that you're subscribed to us, since you've seen YouTube hides us, because we give the analysis you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. And as you've seen, we are effective at doing it. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button and that notification button. Join us each and every time that we are here. We do this weekends, holidays, some days in between. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work at blackchannelfilms.com. I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is being prepared.